First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking these things as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. You found us at postwrestling.com in whatever podcast app you're using right now, or maybe you are joining us
live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, all the postmarks out there worldwide, whether you're live in the YouTube chat right now, or maybe you are listening. Maybe it's Wednesday morning, maybe it's Friday night, whatever day you're listening to. Hello, and thank you for letting us into your ears right now and maybe your eyes. But welcome to Up Next. We are going to talk about NXT because you know why, or maybe you don't. Maybe this is the first time you're listening. In case that happens to be the case, well, we're Braden and Davie. We are your NXT friends. And tonight we have a new NXT champion. And a lot to talk about. It's a, dare I say, new era in NXT. I'm already over that saying now. Any new era hats I have, I'm throwing them out. I'm sick and tired of hearing new era.
Yeah, I feel every week's a new era. I do get the sentiment. I think coming off of the Rumble, like I think we went quite long on Sunday talking about our thoughts on the Royal Rumble. But I do think something they were good at this year in the Rumble was showcasing the recent call-ups, whether that be and people that have been up, moved up in the last few months, say like Lash Legend and Obafemi, a Javon Evans, a Trick Williams. I thought they were all featured pretty well. ZaRuca, obviously. So you really got the sense of the influx of the NXT call-ups and sort of them making a splash. And tonight was kind of about the LFG call-ups, the Evolve call-ups, the NI, what was it? ID call-ups, all of them, and see what they could do. So yeah, we're definitely kind of interesting time being so close to WrestleMania. All these moves, we're kind of used to this as being maybe a post-Mania, like heading towards SummerSlam kind of deal. But yeah, it's a phrase that has definitely been overused a lot. I mean, there's so many phrases. I wish I go on about creative and I'm like, I wish they'd just try a month without a contract signing or something. Let's just try it with like verbiage as well. You can't say head on a swivel. You can't say got next. You can't say new era. You can't say shake the foundation of wrestling to its core and all of that. Like, let's try a few more verbiage. There are apps for that, to expand your vocabulary. Let's see if old Road Dogg and Michael Hayes and Shawn Michaels and Pritchard and the likes can maybe have a go at them.
Well, you know what tropes I'm sick of in wrestling are general managers on the shows that I watch. And sorry, what's that? This show doesn't have a general manager anymore. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. It looks like we still do. We have interim general managers, but oh boy. Yes, we will get into NXT. There is who's the champion? Is it 4chan Bray Wyatt or is it Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry? Who knows? But we will talk all about it and the new era of NXT as we'll discuss everything from tonight's episode because we're always here at Post Wrestling to talk about NXT. But we do talk about other stuff. If you have not checked out Poison Rana in your podcast app or on YouTube, Insta, whatever you use, search Poison Rana Pod and click follow for all the other stuff that we do. We did a show Sunday afternoon where you and I did talk about the Royal Rumble in depth. We went through our thoughts on the whole thing, including AJ Styles, is he or is he not gone from wrestling? It looks like he's gone from WWE, but he put those gloves on. No glove, no love. So I'm
definitely one of the optimistic people. I've definitely changed my mind on this.
I feel
like I watched Raw yesterday and I felt like he wasn't even on the show. Like they did the Gunther segment, obviously, but I just found it like odd his absence. And yeah, so we'll see.
Look, if Hangman,
but Peter Rosenberg says that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to listen to anything he says. I feel like if Hangman can hang out with Marty Scurll, then AJ Styles can hang out with the Young Bucks one more time, and we can have that. I see the internet wrestling community is torn today from the recent actions of someone posing with their old friend, which I could see people being upset about. So I kind of do understand, but Hangman's excuse on the Sports Illustrated interview is like, he was still my friend, and I didn't kind of ask him not to post that photo.
I don't know. I'm a Hangman fan.
Hanger, what are you doing?
I accepted his words, I think. What he said.
Yeah. Well, we love you, Hangman, but yeah, that was a little questionable. But hey, he didn't want to post that photo. But
no,
it's like if Seth Rogen was hanging out with James Franco, and he's like, "Yo, man, maybe you don't post that one one more time." Yeah, we talked all about AJ Styles and his retirement and kind of where we are with where we think things are. And maybe we do have the tinfoil hats on. Maybe the elite tinfoil hats are on our heads, but that's for the better. Look, picture this. Is it who's the guy in the Matrix who holds out his hand? Not Leo, not
Morpheus.
Neo. Morpheus. Yeah. See, in one hand is the red pill and the other is the blue pill. One of those pills is AJ Styles fights Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay and Takeshita Fletcher. And the other pill is Top Dollar and Mr. Elegance.
my thinking with it is, he's not going to TNA. There's no fucking chance he's going there. And I might eat my words on that, but I don't see that at all. I'm just looking at it like, Goldberg was mad that his speech got cut off, but Goldberg had a speech, Cena had the video package. Obviously, it was the whole year's build. Obviously, it's Cena. Like, Cena's a bigger deal in WWE than AJ. But I think if you were at least giving Goldberg the little speech thing after, I just felt this would have been a bigger deal than it was with AJ. Loved the match. I loved the whole build, the last few weeks with AJ. I thought they did such a fantastic job with it. But it just, the gloves coming back on, the sort of, slightly underwhelming follow-up. I thought Gunther was great, coming out mocking the pose and all that. I think he's been fantastic, but it just felt a little understated coming off of it. So that does lead me to think maybe there's just, potential aspirations, potential conversations. So WWE don't want to necessarily give him too much right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Ever since the Shinsuke thing, it was it made people change their minds. I think maybe on okay, maybe he actually is done. And I don't know. It is weird, but WWE usually, if they're not happy with the way, if he's I'm done, that's it, peace out, then maybe they wouldn't be inclined to talk about him as much as anymore as they have shown in the past. But that could be used the other way, is what you're saying. That could be something we did talk about, but it's did he lose fairly? I guess there was a low blow, sure, there was a finger on the rope, whatever. But I would much rather to see him still wrestle. If the guy can still go, I would say in the last few weeks, you could have heard the tone in my voice or I guess the words I say, because I ate them for sure. A few weeks ago, I was like, man, fuck Raw, I'm not going to that. And then that story seemed to just come up out of nowhere of yo, this is AJ's this is the last run. And it's well, shit, rumors are going, he's fighting Punk. Okay, well, fuck, I gotta go. I feel like this is the hottest AJ's been in this company. I know he's been champion and he was really popular and the John Cena feud and all that stuff.
Hottest since I'd say 2017. I'd say
this
around
feels
then.
The most interesting. There's buzz about is it contracts and retirements and all that stuff. And then you watch him in these last few matches. And I'd say specifically the Shinsuke one and the John Cena one. I like the Gunther one, but I don't think it necessarily stuck out as the big retirement match that we've seen with other wrestlers. So again, year ago, I think I sounded crazy being like, wouldn't it be great just like few more matches in the other company? Why not? And now I'm like, that makes the most sense. He's going to make the most money doing that. And he loves his video games. He's going to want to be twitching and streaming and playing his games and wrestling while he can. So I don't know. We're being optimistic here. Let us know if we sound crazy, but are we crazy? We would rather watch him wrestle AJ versus Ospreay than, Moose or Mr. Elegance. Like, we'd probably still watch him, but he was at that AMC show. Could you imagine being at that show and being like, oh yeah, this is where I want to be?
Yeah. I don't see TNA as being an option at all.
But he stared at the belt though. He stared at the
They probably told him to do that. Like, I don't know. He was probably, is that what it looks like these days?
Anyways, like AJ, this has got me hyped for like, this can't be the end. So I hope one company can capitalize on this hype that they seem to build. Like, if anything, it's weird that WWE, the hottest he's been, they would let him go with this at this point, right? But yeah, I don't know.
Well, we talked all about the AJ retirement match and the 2 Raw Rumbles, as well as Drew versus Sammy. And what else did we have? AEW talked, Maso Ciampa, the old black and gold two-time NXT champion, going to AEW and becoming the TNT champion. We talked all about that on our latest episode of Poison Rana. If you are not subscribed to Poison Rana yet, why not? It's absolutely free. We go live every Sunday talking about everything that's happened in the world of pro wrestling. And we're live on YouTube, so follow Poison Rana Pod and search for Poison Rana Pod wherever you find your podcasts, and give us a nice little like and subscribe.
Absolutely. We talk about everything. Definitely looking forward to AEW Dynamite tomorrow night with Kenny Omega and Andrade, 2 characters, 2 wrestlers that seem to be like, I don't know, on a comeback. I don't know what, both of them just hitting the stride, and now they're meeting. And I definitely cannot wait to, it's a good Dynamite when we link up we're not roommates anymore, but when it's like the boys are like, hey, Kenny Andrade, that's like a pay-per-view match right there. So definitely looking forward to that. We will talk about that on this upcoming Sunday. So again, give us a follow if you haven't, and check out tons of free shows on the free feed. We have tons of other shows, including episodes of The Champ Is Here. I've dropped an episode with the Detox with Jordan a few weeks ago, talking about nonsense. We talk about wrestling and so much more, but it doesn't stop. If you like the AJ style, are you in the AJ Styles mood? We definitely are, because as we take the gloves off and leave him in the ring, even though AJ didn't, so that means he's not done yet, right? We decided that we will be doing a best match ever, AJ Styles, but 1, no 2, only 3 are what's best for him, because he has had a historic career that one show just isn't enough for the phenomenal one. So we will be doing, eventually we'll get to it, but this week, tomorrow, we will be recording Best Match Ever Part 1, AJ Styles in TNA.
Yes, very excited for this. There's actually a whole lot of matches on this list I've never seen, because I was never really a TNA guy. So yeah, excited for this. I think we've got 7 matches on the list. If you are a member of our Patreon, the matches are linked there for you to watch, and I believe you fixed some of them earlier today. And yeah, this is going to be a whole lot of fun. We've decided to split this in 3 parts over the course of the next few months. We're also going to do a best match ever AJ rest of the world. So that encompasses like New Japan, Ring of Honor, but also Rev Pro, because there's a certain Will Ospreay match I'd like to talk about. And then, of course, AJ Styles in WWE. But we should start where he made his name, and that's in TNA.
I see someone in the chat's already asking about AJ in WCW. Unfortunately,
tell us his best match in WCW right now.
What was he part of? The Top Gun team? Like he dressed it like Top Flight does, like the aviators and stuff, if I remember. But he made his debut as the DDP fanboy. I think there was like a fake autograph signing, and AJ's like the DDP fan. That kind of goes nowhere, but AJ and TNA, like, you had to be there. There was so many matches, and a lot of them are up for free. So we have linked them, and you can go and watch them. And then, yes, we will be talking all about them. We review, rate, and discuss the best of AJ in TNA. We're going to talk about the theme songs, the shorts, the hairstyles, the styles clashes, the Ultimate X's, all the things in AJ and TNA. And yes, that 3-way match with Joe and Daniels. We've talked about it before, but of course we had to squeak that in there because how could we talk about that without, look, as I said it, someone just in the chat said, oh, that 3-way match. Shout out, Jake. I see you. Definitely excited to talk about AJ in TNA. Like all these matches, I've watched half of them today. Like all of these are bangers. Absolutely every single one.
Absolutely. We're going to be recording that tomorrow, so expect that to be dropped sort of Wednesday night / Thursday. Yes, and that will be on our Patreon. It's only $5 a month if you're not a member. What are you waiting for? Patreon.com/PoisonRana. We were all in the Rumble spirit last week, and as we're talking about his retirement, we decided to talk about his debut as well. 10 years ago since Royal Rumble 2016, an event that you actually happened to be at.
Absolutely. Yeah. We just talked about the Rumble from 2016, Roman defending the title. We had Triple H winning, Dean Ambrose, really hot back then. AJ debuting. I talk a little bit about my trip going down there to the Rumble in Orlando and NXT and so much 10 years ago. So a whole lot of fun, a great podcast. You get those two plus all the other movie reviews, wrestling reviews, Champ is Here pods, Was Next episodes, and so much more. $5. Check us out. We are two independent podcasters, and you want to keep the lights on. Appreciate all the love out there because we had some new people sign up this week. I see you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to be doing another Champ is Here in a couple of weeks with our friends Randy and Eric. I see Randy in the chat right now. From the draw, and yeah, we're gonna be joined by them to talk about his World Heavyweight Championship run with the eventual unification match, but the very famous like raising of the titles ceremony where the crowd just hijack it with Daniel Bryan. So very excited to talk about that, and yes, a rare John Cena World Heavyweight Championship run. Will we be getting a rare Roman Reigns big gold belt World Heavyweight Championship run soon?
Yeah, they're really trying to make that title a thing, aren't they? The secondary title, the big gold WWE title. I don't think I like that title. I don't think it looks good. I've decided that it looks like the secondary title, but if you put that in the main event of WrestleMania, then like, remember the Universal title? Everyone hated it. And then it's like, now this is the main title. It's like, well, okay. And then they had people like Kevin Owens cutting promos like, this is the title. Like, okay, it's not the title Austin held, but like, it's the main title. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I know people don't like this new one because it looks like they took the big gold and then slapped the like sticker on it. Right? Isn't that what this one looks like?
I prefer it to a lot of the other titles they've had. I like it that it's at least gold. I hate that so many of these titles, it seems more strap than golden jewels.
Right.
So I like that about it. There's something like, I like that it feels like there's been a bit more thought into the design. Like when you look carefully at it, some of the things that it shows, like it's trying to be a bit of a throwback, but it doesn't quite have the same feel as some of those older titles. So I'm somewhere in the middle with it.
It's no Divas title, that's for sure.
No.
So it's not quite up there, but not the worst, not the best. But yeah, definitely looking ahead to. I don't remember how we were talking about that belt, but that belt is going to be.
I was trying to segue to the WrestleMania main event chat.
Yes, absolutely. We did talk about the Rumble already, so if you do want to hear us, Poison Rana. But yesterday, Monday Night Raw, with the Royal Rumble winner, I feel like Saturday, Sunday, wrestling fans were really like, I don't know, moaning and groaning about the Royal Rumble. We were probably that too. But I didn't necessarily see people be like, oh, it's Roman again or this and that. Because it's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. We know where it's going. And then they didn't wait a second. I mean, main event segment is Roman Reigns and CM Punk last night, Philly, Monday Night Raw. And I got to say, one of the best segments featuring CM Punk in any version of CM Punk in WWE, and Roman Reigns sounding absolutely incredible, I thought. And I'm not necessarily one to be the biggest Roman fan, but I thought they did exactly what I asked them to do last year when they shoehorned Seth into that feud. I was like, wait, where's the references of him ruining your life? Where's the references of the podcast? Where's all of these things? And we got that in this one like hot promo from these two guys. I think this was easily the right idea with Roman winning. And this promo alone, the clip going viral today, tells you that this match is big enough and is one of the biggest matches that they could possibly do.
I mean, I think it's the first time in what feels like a few years where it's very clear what the main event of WrestleMania this year is. And I'm not talking night one or main eventing at the start of the show or anything. This feels like night two, main event. This is the big thing. This is the draw this year. Get hyped now. And I agree. I was like concerned. We talked about it on Sunday about this being a potential match, and it feels almost like a waste that they did it last year. But I think also there's certain pieces that needed to be moved and sorted before we got to this place as well. Like I think there was kind of just like leftover stuff going on last year with Seth and Punk and Roman and all that. Where I also think Roman's ability as well. This was Roman's best promo in his career, in my opinion. And it's like now this is the Roman that I feel they always wanted him to be years ago. Like he had the great tribal chief character, which like all that aura was a lot of stuff put on him as well, you know, with the family and the Ulafala and the epic entrance and all that stuff. You had the whole stuff with The Rock, where I remember some of the struggle a couple of years ago was some of the segments with The Rock and Roman together was Roman just looked small. And I don't necessarily mean physically. I just mean small in aura and charisma and all those things compared to The Rock. And I feel now he's just like being this baby face for a while. And I just felt suddenly everything came together. I think this was the best promo. This didn't feel like him playing a character. Like I am the character, the tribal chief. This felt like Roman Reigns, who's been the guy who's been carrying this company on his back, like the actual person, Joe Anoa'i, whatever, for the last decade plus, and now is getting this match. It took a long time to get there, but it felt right. And for someone like Roman Reigns to hang on the mic with CM Punk is impressive. And I also like references to stuff of their previous story. Like, you know, we shook hands, we fought together at the at War Games, and it kind of blended like shoot and kayfabe quite nicely, because it's, yes, in storyline they shook hands at War Games and things, but when he referenced, who do you think Triple H asked when they were going to bring you back? It was me. And I believe that. Like, if you've watched Unreal, it's quite clear that Triple H always wants to clue his top guys in on what's happening. Like, he might be trying to keep it secret from everyone else, but he has his respect for the top guy enough to tell him. So I kind of believe that line when Roman was like, he asked me if it was cool. And it was like Roman being, for these last 3 years, CM Punk's been in there. I'm the face of this brand. I know it's a good business decision for CM Punk to be back, even though I don't particularly like him. For the greater good of the business, I'm going to put that aside. And then here in this promo, it's just like finally letting it out. Like, I actually fucking hate you. And you made my life a misery from that podcast all those years ago. I thought it was tremendous.
Yeah, I think it was something that was needed when Punk came in. We had the Juicy Drew feud, but when we did this last year, it was like, Seth, why are you even involved? No one even wants you in this match, man. And this is exactly what like we needed. Like all those things that were behind the scenes, like, okay, the famous CM Punk podcast with Colt Cabana. Here he is referencing it. Here he is referencing like I carry this company and this and that. And then also Punk referencing I brought you in. So hey, storyline wise, kayfabe wise, Punk just finally admitted that the Shield were, if for anyone who was really holding on to that storyline of like, remember when that they just weren't attached or associated to Punk anymore? Well, Punk just let you know that They were, for anyone holding on to that. I thought that was good. We should have got a Chris Hero reference. Like, you know what? Yeah, you're right, Roman. I didn't even pick you.
Yeah.
They made me put you in the group. I didn't want you there because you sucked. I thought this was really great. Like, I can't say the match itself will blow me away. I'm sure we could be pleasantly surprised, but I think CM Punk's, like, his forte is the microphone, obviously. And right here in this promo, again, reminded me, like, okay, you might still be the sellout Punk that a lot of people seem to be calling you, but when you can switch it on, man, like, that was really good. But you said it, like, Roman was the standout. I thought Roman was the one that really got him in the end of it. So I think on night one of this program, I mean, that is, of course, if Punk defeats Finn Balor, of course. We can't just, we can't just overlook that.
I actually loved how it started as well. I loved, Punk, like, kind of big leaguing him by making him wait. Like, he let his song run a little longer than usual before he comes out, which is, one of those moves people do to just get under their skin, and then not addressing him at all, being like, Finn Balor, I'm mad at you. And Roman's like, what the fuck? You're talking about Finn Balor? I actually, like, I have high hopes for this match because I have enjoyed Punk the last few matches he's had. I think he has been good. And I think Roman, when he's dialed in, is excellent. Like, I think the two matches against Cody at Mania were great. I think there was so much, especially the Tribal Chief run, where it was too much cinema and he was, like, relying on those things and didn't have to do much stuff. But I really got a sense that, like, there've been talks about this WrestleMania card changing and, the title flip with Cody and Drew and stuff like that, that maybe there's a little bit of politicking going on. And I think that's great because I think it's going to raise everyone's game because, the fact that they went pretty hard on Drew McIntyre and therefore by extension, Cody, because, you're going for that title from that loser, like it, and burying kind of SmackDown itself. I felt it was kind of them really trying to boost them up and be like, hey, we're the main guys here. We're the 1A and B in this company right now. And I think you're going to see a ripple effect where I think Drew could come back with some of his best stuff as well, because they got bitched out on Raw, like all of them. And I think wrestlers with that talent, with a chip on their shoulder, can produce some of the best work. And I think there's always that excitement this period, Rumble to Mania, where you're getting those, like, semi-shoot promos and it all feels a little spikier. They're, allowed to, they let them swear a little bit more if they need to, that kind of thing. They get a little bit more, like, off the chain, it feels. And so I'm quite intrigued and excited to see what we get from the other side, from the other title, because they're going to have to do some work to make that one feel interesting. And yeah, we've had the Cody Drew feud for a while. It's not
probably the Mania match.
It's probably the Mania match, whether Jacob Fatu's in that or not.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make that interesting? How do you make that exciting? And they're going to have to do some of their best work. And then I think when it actually comes to Mania, you're going to have this little competition between those two matches. I think you're going to have, let's say they are the two matches, you're going to have Cody and Drew go out there and be top that. And you're going to have Roman and Punk trying to top that as well. So I actually find it really exciting. I'd love to know all the backstage stuff that's gone on with this, because if it does feel like some stuff's shifted in the last month from certain directions and things, but I'm excited. It perked my interest yesterday.
I think that promo alone changed all the angry fans from the weekend. Like, I feel like that I haven't even necessarily given that a lot of room to breathe, but since Saturday, talking to friends like at our event, people who I know are like, oh, I love wrestling, WWE, who are the most casual of casuals across the board, Royal Rumble was boring. Like, I heard that from people who don't watch wrestling, who were there, dragged there. Like, oh, it's cool, but this was kind of a boring show. Like, all right, fair enough. I feel like that was majority of people.
I wouldn't put Sammy Gunther in there. Gunther AJ in that conversation. But like the two Rumble matches and the title match, I agree.
I know what you're saying, but I also wouldn't put that Gunther AJ match in any upper echelon of a ton. Like, it was fine, it was good, but I would say,
I don't know. I rewatched it. I thought it was pretty excellent.
I rewatched it too, and I thought the same thing when I watched it. I was like, yeah, it was good, but it didn't necessarily, like, you won't be talking about it in 1 year when you do best matches of the year. I don't think so.
Oh, I think so. I think it's going to be in the list. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Absolutely. We'll play this clip on that show when we do that show. I felt like a lot of people were mad about, like, oh, the Rumble, this and that, and then the discourse today. Oh, wait. This match sounds great. And it's like, oh, because they're using real stories and it actually is kind of creative the way they did this. It's like, oh, right away they hooked people. So I'm going to say that's a good thing. Like, instantly the at least the internet wrestling community was like, oh, wait a second, hold on. Let him cook for a second. So this was week 1. We still have months to go, but still, I thought that was a really good turnaround.
I think the thing is, it's like, okay, Roman, it's predictable. It's a Roman main event again, but there's only there's 2 huge matches you can go to, and that's Roman v Punk or Cody v Punk. Like, they're the 2 fresh matches that haven't been touched, and really one of those options should have been your main event this year, which, if you are doing Roman Punk and you are doing Cody Drew, it's you getting a 3rd Rumble win for Cody, or you getting a 2nd for Roman. And Cody is treading this tightrope right now where the fans, they're already starting to turn on him, you know? And I think if he were to win the Rumble, I think you'd have got, like when Roman won all those years ago, you know, I think it would have been boos, and I think that would have carried through. I still think it's going to be interesting because Drew is pretty popular as a heel, and I think there is a bit of Cody fatigue where, like, how they tread that line. Do they just end up turning him, or do they want to keep him as the babyface? But therefore, you kind of had to have Roman win it. Like, if they're the options, if you're not going outside the box, and
the chamber, though,
people complained last year with Jay when he won, which was a bit outside the box and fresh. And then, so I think I'm basically saying what you said. Kind of Raw corrected the Rumble. Like, it made sense of the Rumble as soon as this happened, as soon as Cult of Personality hit, and you realize that's the match we're getting. You go, okay, yeah, fair enough. Roman should have won the Rumble.
That's definitely it. It's like, oh, okay, wait, actually, this is, like, I don't think necessarily people were like mad at Roman Reigns winning, because he is one of the biggest stars, no matter what. Like I said, okay, his matches might not necessarily do a whole lot for me, but there's so much outside of that. There's storytelling, and they've definitely nailed it with the last few years with his character. And I'd say in one promo, like, it was a whole new era of Roman Reigns with this promo being like, Punk, this is why I fucking hate you, and we're gonna fight. And it was definitely what I thought the laziness of last year was like, what? There's this whole story of why I want these guys to fight, and they ignored it because Seth Rollins likes to dress all weird. So, like, I didn't get where we did last year, but now it's like, no, fuck all that. Here's the one-on-one, and now it's what the people want, and hopefully they can ride this out. If this was week 1, like, they're gonna have some other scathing promo battles to do it. You know, I don't think Punk is losing to Finn Balor, but I do like the way they're trying to reheat the Finn Balor nachos, and that's okay, because I like the match with Punk. I like the stuff he's been doing. I would like to see that match at Chamber. I just don't. No one's gonna buy that Finn Balor is the one beating Punk to go on to Mania to face Roman.
It's whether you can do it in a way where, you know, like Balor's Mania feud or Balor's next feud comes out of it, whether being screwed by
Cody,
Dom
Drew, could he go over? Could he win the Chamber? Like, could they try to capitalize on how Finn, or will he go back to playing video games? Like,
yeah, I think they hit something with Finn pretty recently after that Island thing, where they, you know, the Judgment Day inner discourse is always going on, but it's whether you kind of don't. It's so hard, as you say, doing this match, knowing Like, there's no way Finn Balor's winning this match. So, in a way, why do it? Especially when you only have 4 matches on the card, like on these long ones, like 4, maybe 5. Like, kind of, why do it? But you kind of have to tie up that loose end. So I wonder if you just set up like interference or whatever, whoever's going to feud with Finn Balor coming out of this, just have that and move it that way.
It's a tough spot because right away you told us it's Roman Punk, and there's no way it's not anything other than that. So it's like would you rather do like Cody and Drew versus Punk and Roman, like, you know, where they get the 2 guys who are facing each other team up to like they're doing the Finn thing, whether it's on a Raw or in Chicago, but it just is so like there's no way he's winning it. And then I'd say I said a lot of discourse of the Rumble. People just seemed mad that, you know, Sammy lost, but I feel like everyone's in agreement of like the it wasn't there. The vibe wasn't there.
It wasn't the time. It wasn't the time to do it.
The vibes were off, bro.
The time was 3 years ago. The vibes might be there a year from now or 6 months from now.
Come back maybe, but
right now it's not the time.
So maybe he still is involved. Like, that's the thing. Like, the SmackDown side, Cody Drew, like, you literally did that match so many times, and the guy won the belt by walking out of a cage, which is silly. But like, how else do you continue? Like, is the story Cody's comeback? He didn't win the Rumble, so he's got to win the Chamber, and then he wins the Chamber, and they have one more match at WrestleMania. It's like, then what is Drew's run really? Like, what was the point of that? And like, can you insert Sammy and Jacob Fatu into like a 4-way match? Is that
I'd have Drew win at Mania. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, unless you're turning Cody heel, I don't think a Cody Rhodes title reign is beneficial to him right now.
Yeah. I mean, what's turning heel if he's turning heel on a heel?
Yeah,
he's turning heel on Drew.
Exactly. So then I don't think Cody should win. I think, as you said, like, Drew won by walking through a door after interference. Like, Drew should now get that definitive win over Cody. And that can be what starts this spiral for Cody. Because right now, Cody feels, I'm the real champion. I'm justified to be champion. I was screwed. Whereas if he were to lose in a more clean fashion, like, then he doesn't have that argument. And I think you can build, whether it's a Jacob Fatu or one of your other baby faces, to be the one to eventually topple Drew, whether at SummerSlam or a pay-per-view in between.
Yeah, I just can't think of what that title scene is. Obviously, we'll get there and we'll see what happens with Elimination Chamber and Cody and all that. But WrestleMania season, you know, I think by the end of 2025, majority of fans were like, yeah, it's WWE and the money's great and the machine is powering through and it's bigger than ever and better than ever. But it was creatively bankrupt a little bit. And then the month of January seemed like a bit of a shot in the arm, like across all kind of, okay, maybe not so much NXT, but like a shot in the arm of like, hey, we're trying, and look at all these other things. Because I didn't necessarily hate the Rumble. Don't get me wrong. The Rumble is lucky because it's the Rumble. You can have fun with the things, but I still was left a little dissatisfied of like, okay, it was whatever. But I knew going in, the Rumble usually kind of makes me feel that way. But I wasn't mad at the picks. The picks make sense. Liv is one of the biggest stars. She should easily be in one of the bigger WrestleMania matches, whether it's against her pal Raquel or whatever. And Roman winning, sorry, I was
gonna say, did you catch anything else from Raw at all?
I watched Raw. I watched the other thing, that the Liv stuff. Okay, like,
so I assume it is Liv and Stephanie, I assume, is the match, don't you?
I kind of want that more than Raquel.
I do,
right?
Yeah.
Like, that makes more sense to me. But and Stephanie, like, kind of becoming a pretty big character. I think she would deserve a big Mania match too. But the stuff with Braun Breaker reminded me of Scott Steiner when he jumped after Test off the apron.
It kind of works, doesn't it? Because he's meant to be like a big dumb jock who you don't want to piss off because he'll rip you in half. I know you said you don't like the GM role, but I think Adam Pearce has been fantastic.
He was good. Yeah.
The way he was like, I should have fired you because you fucking sucked in the Rumble, essentially. Your poor performance, I thought, was great. And yeah, I have been enjoying I've been, out of the three, definitely been enjoying Adam Pearce the most. I guess
Braun Breaker kayfabe wise is an idiot. Like your own crew dress up in the exact same getup, and the guy takes you out. The internet Twitter sleuths could figure out who this is. I'm pretty sure you could, dude. Just like
the thing I found funny is when like Adam Pearce goes, like, yeah, I mean, it was a guy in a hood, and last time it was a guy in a hood, it was Austin Theory. And it's like it's the first time Braun Breaker's ever thought of that.
Like, oh,
he's
shit.
like, wait, really?
He is like a dog.
Yeah. Woof, 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 woof. But I assume I think probably what they're doing with this hooded thing is, you know, they're doing it to give Seth time. And if Seth's ready for Mania, you have the reveal as Seth. If he's not, you maybe go Braun and Logan Paul, or Braun and whoever else is under that mask. Or as I think we theorized, maybe it's kind of the Scream thing, and it's Seth and maybe two other people. Maybe it's Austin and Logan, who's in his new vision or whatever, and have been working from within the whole time. So, but yeah, most people, them coming out the ring and falling flat on their ass, it would like shockmaster them. But I think it just works for this Braun character in a weird way.
It's kind of weird. Did people expect him to win the Rumble? Is that why? Like they told you, like it is a big thing. Like think when he speared Seth, it felt like, okay, they're gonna go all in with this guy, and then something changed where they're like, actually, nah, let's not do that. And it's just not his time right now.
Yeah, and I think
it will be.
I think like one day this guy's going to be the champion for sure. Yeah. And whether it's next year, that's a great story. Last year in the Rumble, you were eliminated in the quickest amount of time. You were first out, and now you win the whole thing. That's when you're pushing for that babyface turn. And I think Braun's got a great babyface run in him in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. He almost would come out of this story as the babyface, but then he's the one who took out Seth. So Seth would be coming back as the babyface when all of these people are very unlikable. Like the vision is blurry for me. I'm still not completely sold on this crew, and I hate to say it, but I think it's Paul Heyman. I think it's Paul Heyman, therefore you're gonna be like, you're the next thing. It doesn't always work. We have seen a few missteps in the world of Paul Heyman guys, so like it just kind of weird. Like I feel like Logan Paul does not need someone talking for him. I feel like I like him with the stable of people, but something about it, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I like Braun Breaker, but I something about the other.
I think at least with Logan, it has changed his character a bit. Like I'm an influencer and I'm an outsider coming in. That's only got so much of a shelf life, and I get that. Sort of like the Miz. When Miz came in, he was the MTV guy, right? And now, like all these years later, like I know you still don't like him, but I don't think of him as that. I think of him as just the Miz, this wrestler who's been in WWE for 20 years or whatever it is. I'm starting to feel that with Logan Paul. He's starting to feel more like a wrestler than this media personality, the celebrity who's coming in, because I think that ran its course. So I know what you mean. You don't need a Paul Heyman for him, but if this is the reveal and he's the one screwing him, that's a bigger story for him.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but The Miz is a WWE superstar, not a wrestler. Make sure you get that. Never forget that. Sorry, I had to get my quota in. It was like 30 minutes in. I'm like, did I shit on The Miz yet? How can I? Oh, yeah, that's how I can do it. I see Jake in the chat bringing up Gunther trolling AJ Styles with the music. Another great spot. Have I watched wrestling too long? As soon as the music hit, I'm like, it's gonna be Gunther. I think I watched this too much. I loved it. I loved him doing that. That was great.
Yeah. And the attack on Dragon Lee. So are we getting Ray and Gunther at Chamber or upcoming anytime soon?
That's where like I kind of wanted to bring it up because of all this talk of like, oh, what's going on with we know it's Punk and Roman, but like Gunther retired Goldberg, John Cena, AJ Styles all in a few months. And why isn't he in the title picture? Why isn't Gunther in the main event? Like Gunther Cody at WrestleMania could easily be your night one. Like Cody's mad. Like, hey, you retired two of my friends. What's going on? And Goldberg. So what's going on? Why are you doing that? That's an easy story, I guess you could have went with. But I imagine he's featured in a big match at WrestleMania because he does feel. I feel like this guy is just like the most well-rounded superstar. Like, not only is he awesome at chopping people and power bombing people, but he is just such he's so much fun to hate in this role. Like, he gets pro wrestling down pat. I think he's so much fun to watch. So I don't know what his Mania match is, but him killing Dragon Lee was pretty entertaining. Sorry, Dragon Lee. What do you think? What's his Mania match? Who's he fighting?
I don't know. I assume a Ray feud is coming next, but I don't necessarily know if that stretches all the way to Mania. It's difficult now because if you're not having him in the title picture, it feels the biggest thing for him to do is go after someone else's career, right? And is that a streak you want to, like, is there someone ready to retire at Mania? Or is it a streak you want to already break after these three? You know what I mean?
Who else wants to retire soon?
Well, Brock is probably retiring this year.
Brock,
I think that's a big match.
Minnesota. I mean, that's a good WrestleMania. That's a huge one, but you would figure Obafemi might be the WrestleMania match with what happened in the Royal Rumble. But
I'm not sure the Gunther direction yet, but he has been great and deserves a very big spot. Yeah,
that was something that I thought was pretty funny. Maybe he should fight. Who is it? Bert Kreischer. He keeps showing up.
Sure.
He should chop him.
There's so many celebrities. I've never seen anything they've done, but I've seen on WWE too many times. You know?
Yeah, I have seen him. Like, I know he's popular in comedy and stuff like that. But yeah,
is he having a match? Is Fluffy having a match?
I don't know if they would like. That guy does like to take his shirt off, but I don't know. Better than like what Andrew Schultz and whoever else.
Shout out. Schultz did a babyface turn this past week, it seems.
Yeah, but it's too late. No, no, I don't like that. I hate these baby faces. I hate all these fake baby faces promos of
you knew what you were. You knew what you were.
Yeah. He's definitely the scapegoat this week, but he's not the only one. There's so many that I'm like, whoa, you were part of the problem. You can't. Yeah. That's like wrestling, I guess, right? Like back in the day, as soon as you turn heel, you're just cool with all the heels. But now, at least, you know, certain people don't like certain people, but they can still get along. But yeah, anyways, there's a lot of other stuff in the world of wrestling, and we talk all about it, not just NXT. We'll talk more about CM Punk and Roman Reigns, some SmackDown, some AE dubs, and so much more. Sunday, live at 2 p.m., audio up later on the free feed. Poison Rana, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you use, give us a follow and check out all the other stuff that we do. And we'll talk about NXT in a sec. I know I said thank you already on Sunday, but if you're listening to this and you came to our Royal Rumble party, the Poison Rana Rumble at National at the Well in Toronto, I want to say thanks. Thanks to all the friends, all the people who showed up, and we had one of the biggest events that we have ever done. We tried this new venue. It's called National Downtown. We had drink specials, wrestling drink specials, food specials, games, prizes, rumble pools, and so many people. And I want to say thanks because this one was so awesome. And it's a start of WrestleMania season because we got some more things coming. But all the love to everyone, not just in our crew, but everyone who may be listening here for the first time from coming. But thank you. It was so much fun.
It was great. We showed up to a new territory and we
took over.
We proved our worth and we got a second booking. So if you do want to come, we are doing a party for the Elimination Chamber. We're on the road to WrestleMania. So it was a great venue. I couldn't have been happier with how smooth everything went. Like, all the people we were working with were awesome. Our friends helping out were great. Everyone who showed up brought the energy. It was such a great day. So thank you. And yes, we will be doing it again at National at the Well. So if you are in the Toronto area on February 28th, come along and just go to poisonrana.ca for your details.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, wrestling's definitely okay to watch by yourself because I definitely do a lot of that myself too. But when it's the big events like a Rumble or Mania or whatever, pay-per-views and stuff, it's so much fun to watch with other people and react. The Rumble, you get so caught up with the numbers and the pools and everything. We had some great prizes, cash prizes. We had Austin vests, DX jerseys, Rey Mysterio masks from Mexico. And then now we got some great stuff for our next few events as well with prizes and raffles and everything. So we are really proud of the community we've built in our city of Toronto with tons of wrestling friends, and looking forward to the next one. So Elimination Chamber, going to be funny. So lock in, and we'll see you in a few weeks. So definitely looking forward to that, because it was a lot of fun. And then if you want to hear what really happened on Saturday night, a very raunchy edition of Behind the BDE for World Champ family member patrons. If you like what you hear and want to hear all our shows, it's $5 to become a friend. But if you want to become a family member, you get access to Behind the BDE, our X-rated show, where we discuss AJ Styles may have left the gloves on, but Fillmore's Toronto did not. So we talk all about our Saturday night. And if you become a family member, you get access to Behind the BDE, but you also get to pick stuff like movies or wrestling, and we'll have you on to join for episodes of Up Yours. But this one might get us canceled if people.
Well, yeah, we say the things we can't say on our Founding Fathers podcast.
Yeah, if John Away probably do listen to Behind the BDD. They are big fans of it, but they will be ashamed if what they hear on this show.
Man, recently my dad keeps on I am bad at calling my family.
Your dad did not listen to the show, right?
No, not this show, but he listens to too much as it is. Like,
if your dad listens to that show.
He's like, oh, I heard your coat got stolen. I'm like, how did you hear my? Oh, Dad, stop listening.
He's like, Fillmore's establishment to you speak of. What is this place? Well, you can't go, Dad. It's closed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, thanks to anyone who came to the party. Very good stuff, and appreciate everyone listening, of course. Poisaround.ca. Okay, enough yapping. We're here to talk about some NXT in a new era of NXT. So let's do it. NXT, February 3rd, 2026. We start off with a video package highlighting the many NXT champions in the past. We're talking Seth Rollins. We're talking Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano. Not Tommaso Ciampa, but no Adrian Neville in there. There's a few guys missing, but Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor, the list goes on and on and on. No Samoa Joe, sadly, but we see Kevin Owens, all these people. And tonight, there will be crowned a new NXT champion in the 7-man ladder match. So Obafemi, yeah, he did good. He did real good in the Royal Rumble. But a few weeks ago, he said, I don't want this stupid title. I'm on the big leagues now. I'm on that main roster contract. Don't need to be hanging out with kids. So he threw away the title in the trash. And that is why it's up for grabs, literally up for grabs in the ladder match tonight for those who are keeping score and trying to catch up. But more on that later, because we have a title match that starts the show tonight.
We do have the announcement right at the beginning. Shawn Michaels with Robert Stone and saying he's making him the interim GM. And he goes, things get a little crazy around here, but I like it that way. So interim implying that we will have a new GM coming soon, but Robert Stone taking that role for now, which I think we sort of assumed probably would be the case with the kind of abrupt departure of Ava. Again, if you want to hear us talk about Ava, we talked all about her departure on Sunday's Poison Rana.
In case you didn't, we'll pour one out. We'll pour one out for Ava, okay? Like, we may have not been the highest on the character known as Ava or Ava Rain, if we go further back enough. Shout out the Schism. Long live the Schism. That theme song was good. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh,
that theme song is just going to be floating in the long list of banging theme songs that were sadly attached to wrestlers or characters that didn't make it. But the theme lives on. Love is blind. I guess the grass is greener.
It's always greener on the other side.
Yeah. Ava definitely wasn't my favorite. I had a lot of messages and DMs this week saying it was my fault. I don't like that. That's not my fault. Come on.
No, I like to think of it as a full circle moment. She came into the company joining a woke group, and she leaves saying fuck ice. So yeah, full circle.
Yeah, I'm sure, maybe she wants to try other things. They wished her well in future endeavors and all that. I'm not sure if there is more to this story. If there is, I'm sure we'll find out stuff. But maybe she was like, I could imagine she was getting a lot of hate online and stuff like that. So maybe she was like, this isn't worth it. And she can do just fine. She's The Rock's daughter. I think she's going to be fine with whatever she does. But Hey, that doesn't mean wrestling was her thing. I'm sure she can go find other stuff, but I know I have been maybe critical of her work on NXT, but I never attacked the person. I just didn't like what we were presented with on TV. So all the power to her. Bless her. Pour one out for Ava. See, I'm not malice. I have no malice in my heart. I want her to do good. Shout out to Pebble, Young Rock. But I know I'm going to listen to that song later. We start off with a triple threat for the North American Women's Championship here on NXT. Izzi Dame, the champion, defending against the former champ, Thea Hale, and Lola Vice. Lola coming hot off her Royal Rumble appearance in Saudi Arabia. I thought she looked good on Saturday. We're a big fan of Lola. She should be called up pretty soon, right? A few of the people we talked on Sunday, like the people who were the women who were in the Rumble from NXT was a great snapshot of like these are some of the top like people, top women. You had ZaRuca, JC Jane, Lola, Kalani, like those are the top four I'd say that we have.
Yeah, I think division. So.
Yeah.
I'd
so like I thought they all looked pretty good on Saturday. So Lola, I guess having the flight, looks like they all flew out pretty quickly after that show, but flies back to Florida, made it in time for this title match. Izzi Dame is getting beat up pretty quickly by the two of them. There's double super kicks to her. Lola locks in a triangle on Thea as they're trying to fight each other with submissions. Booker T is going off about spicy meatballs and stuff. Green Cholula. Sometimes I just try to block out what Booker T is saying, but he's on one, I guess I could say as well. Thea hits a Rana to Sean Spears on the outside. I thought that looked pretty good. Lola then hits a Thez press to the outside as we go to break. When we kind of come back from this, there's a double team. I think this was on Lola, where there's the Samoan drop blockbuster combo. Shout out Shad Jaspard and JTG Crime Time. This used to be their finisher called, do you know what they called this? The G9. I think this was your dark spot of
wrestling. Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
But Crime Time, never forget. That was a kick out there as they can't figure out who's trying to get the pin. Lola then comes back, lighting both of them up with the side kicks and the roundhouse kicks. She sets up Izzi in one corner, sets up Thea in the other, and Booker T is having a stroke. There's the giggity, giggity, giggity as she's hitting the butt attacks. Eventually, they start to fight back. Another huge roundhouse kick, but it's broken up. Thea hits a DDT, and then Kalani comes out of nowhere and attacks Lola Vice. And, well, because there's a bunch of ladders under the ring for the ladder match later, Kalani grabs one and then smashes the ladder onto Lola's hand. And this looked like it really sucked. Her T-shirt says, really her. So him and her combo there, I guess. She walks off laughing, and this allows Thea to get a roll up, but Izzi gets out of it, eventually hits her, the sky high sit out power bomb for the 1-2-3. Izzi retains, and Lola's hand is busted.
Yeah, pretty fun match. I like how it kind of furthered this Kalani Lola story, because I think Lola's someone we're big fans of, and there was a moment last year where she was lost in the shuffle, seemed to disappear for quite a while. So I like that even though she didn't capture this title, there's something for her moving forward. And a feud with Kalani is pretty good. And I thought Kalani's attack looked pretty good on the hand as well. I actually was pretty impressed with Thea in this match. And she's someone who I've kind of really been put off of recently from just her character portrayal. But I thought she looked very strong in this match and had some really nice sequences. I thought all three did. I think, like we say this a lot, the multi-person booking in NXT is normally pretty entertaining. They've kind of got away from a lot of the someone sleeping on the outside, and it's a pretty fluid match all the time. And I think both Booker and Vic were saying some of these women have never been in a a three-way or anything like that before. So I was pretty impressed with this. I thought it was a good standing match to kick off the show.
I thought so too. Yeah, there was some good back and forth. Like there was never a downtime, which is definitely like an evolution of these kinds of matches. We do tons of podcasts where we go back and watch old wrestling. Whenever it is 4 ways or 3 ways, there is a lot of like the one person's chilling for a while. Whereas say over the years, they've definitely fixed that. And it's become some of the highlights of NXT. I think of many of the 4-way, 3-way matches, and think of the Rumble this year, we had Trick, Oba, and Javon, and like last year, they had an awesome triple threat match. Like NXT definitely, I think in general, just wrestling multi matches have definitely stepped up. Like, okay, you might complain if it's the 3-way announced as the main event of a WrestleMania. We did get one last year, which is still like a decent match, but you're kind of like, for certain things, it's like, no, we need the singles match. But for this,
it's funny though, isn't it? I agree, you want the singles match, but when you look back, there have been quite a few very strong triple threat matches at WrestleMania.
We're gonna talk about one tomorrow. We're doing the best match ever, AJ. Like the triple that match is always talked about in the world of wrestling, like the best TNA match ever, possibly the Joe Daniels and AJ. Like there's been some other ones. Like what best match ever triple threat? There'd be so many over the years.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, but this one was pretty fun. Thea definitely doing some fun, like that Rana to the outside was pretty crazy. Izzi is not my favorite, but she's definitely still improving, and this advances the Lola Kalani stuff. So I don't know. I actually thought this was pretty good. I was like, all right, some good wrestling to start NXT tonight. So Izzi retains. I'm sure she'll have some more defenses in the near future, but we go backstage. Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray are there talking to ZaRuca in the locker room when they're talking about like the Royal Rumble and how good Soul was doing, when Zarya interrupts. So Ren QCC hightail it out of there, and Zarya's mad. Spoilers. Zarya's mad at Soul. Every week she's mad at her friend, and Soul is like, "You're mad at me because I wasn't here last week, but I was in the Rumble." And Zarya's like, "Yeah, it's you who keeps getting all these big things, and I'm not getting anything." And Soul is like, "Well, look, I got a call. They told me you're in the Rumble and don't tell anyone. What am I supposed to do? You would have done the same thing." And Zarya says, "All right, you're right. But ZaRuca is fine." So she made sure to say the line. Say the thing. She said it. ZaRuca is fine. And she says that later tonight, she needs the win tonight for me, as she walks off. So these two are in a tag match later, but I'm going to win the match.
They've definitely, there was a time when you were going, Soul is coming across a little unlikable and heelish in this. They've like completely fixed that now and maybe learn from that, being like, oh, that wasn't actually what we were trying to do. But yes, now, Zarya just completely jealous. Like, of course, if Braden, be nice for us to do this forever, but if you were offered a lot of money to do, move up in the world and have a better gig podcasting about wrestling, I wouldn't hate you for it. I'd understand. I'd find someone else. It's okay. Take those opportunities. That's what you want your friends to do, right? And but I kind of liked how they weaved in both her Rumble appearance, like Ren and Kendall praising her for it, and also getting them involved now in the story and the title picture as well. So,
they definitely teased Soul being a bit like narcissistic, a little like, egotistical, where now they have kind of eased up on that and just had Zarya just be jealous. And that's classic wrestling. Like, I'm jealous of you. So we got to get this split. It's like every week. It's like, in wrestling, that's such a trope of like, can we just be straight? Like, I feel like the Young Bucks are the only team that have ever, like, the Young Bucks and FTR maybe are like, well, we don't ever tease that we hate each other. Even when we super kick each other, we're still okay with it.
Thing is, I keep looking. There's been certain pay-per-views where, is it going to happen on this one and stuff? But when this angle eventually happens, it's going to be at the end of a show, right? It's going to be the closing angle. So I don't know if I was going to say, is next week's tag match, is that the moment? Or,
we've been saying it for
but I don't think it is. We'll get to the tag match later, but
we said last week.
They're likely peaking this for Stand and Deliver, right? In which case we've got 2 months that we have to tread this water a little bit. Maybe we can pull the trigger in a month's time.
Yes. Yeah, we keep thinking it's going to happen. And then remember, they would do that with Undisputed Era. They do it with Judgment Day. They do it with every team or group ever, pretty much. It's just funny. So it will happen this year. Just when, I guess. We see Tony D'Angelo shows up. He'll be cutting a promo when we come back. Before that, we see Andre Chase a week later is still being checked on. I think he needs to be moved to an actual hospital. If the dude's been laying here for this long. Uriah Connors is like shaking his head. He's like, look what this guy's got us into. Like, what are we even doing, essentially? When Stax and Lexis King walk in, and they're like, "Oh, Uriah, you're talking like you're talking truth. You're talking smart. You sound like you know what you're talking about for once." And Kale Dixon steps in, like, "Hey, like, leave us alone," kind of thing. And Lexis brings up maybe Uriah just wants to claim his birthright. So yet again, name dropping that thing that we assume is the name of the Lexis King,
the stable, the birthright,
Nepo Baby legacy stable. So this sets up a tag match later tonight: Lexis King and Stax versus Uriah and Kale Dixon. But we cut back to the ring. We hear new music, a new Titantron, a whole new entrance for Tony D'Angelo. Can we even call him that? Like, is this just Tony D now? Like, is this a complete new man? This guy?
I mean, his name's still Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah. Still, he has a whole new, like, heavy rock.
Yeah.
Kind of
I liked it. It was better than, you know, he had his, like, family music, which was more like the happy Italian music.
Yeah.
And then he had the sinister one where he tried to get a bit more serious for a title run, and that never really hit. I thought this was an improvement.
Now, is he trying to slowly get rid of the accent? Do you think he's trying to not just Kofi Kingston it, but just like slowly?
I mean,
not be as.
Have you heard his real voice? How do we know this isn't?
Okay,
I mean, he plays it up, but I think the accent's maybe.
Like,
although he's from Chicago, isn't he? I don't know.
He says he's from Chicago in this promo, but I don't know. We were the ones being like, man, I don't know if we're sick of him, but like, just try this on the main roster. And they didn't. And now he's not even a cartoon character. He's like the next, like, evolution of this
now, isn't he?
He's Sting. So wait, Surfer Sting was mobster Tony D and his now like nice coat.
Well, yeah, that's what he is. He's now like, he's turned dark, and he's been, you know, stalking and lurking the last few months, and now he's made it clear that he's going after Dark State, that he doesn't like what they've been doing.
Oh my God. Just compared Tony D'Angelo to Sting, but you're not wrong.
I'm not the first person to say that. Like,
really? I've not.
Oh yeah. Oh, a lot of people would say, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying a carbon copy, but it's the same idea, you know, kind of something's broken inside and they need to clean it up and get out the trash.
Like, okay, the mobster thing is such a stereotypical, Italian American who's a mafia related character. Okay, yeah, but it is wrestling, and we have way worse other kind of silly characters over the years. So like, I don't know. I like that they've gone this new serious route, the new music, the new look in the last few weeks, way more serious tone for this character. I like that. And then he cut this promo. And then I realized, actually, I don't think I like this that much. He comes out and says, it's been 7 months and I got to get some things off my chest. So he asked the production crew to turn the lights on here, because he almost had a spotlight on him in the ring. So he turns the house lights on. He says, I want to be able to see all of you here tonight in the Performance Center. He then says, over the last little while, you haven't seen me 7 months, like he said, but everything was taken from me. My titles, my championships, my family was taken from me. And no disrespect to my past, but all of this was a wake-up call that I needed. I grew up on the mean streets of Chicago. And, well, I went back home and I needed to think. And I did. And I needed to remember. And I did. That I was once a national champion, a Division I All-American. And nobody knew nothing about what I could do. And, well, I'm back for 2 reasons. Number 1, Dark State. You took everything from me, so I'm going to take everything from you. And number 2, well, after I deal with Dark State, you'll find out. That's his promo, cutting on Dark State. Wasn't it Stax who took everything from him, literally?
I mean, there was so much wrong about this promo. I think I think he's a babyface because, as you said, the first thing he says is, I want the lights up. I want to see all you guys, which is a babyface thing, right? So I think he's come back as a babyface. He's meant to be this sort of like anti-hero kind of character, like a vigilante almost.
The Crow, Sting.
Yeah. But
Charles Bronson.
his explanation doesn't match with his actions. As you said, it's like, took everything from me. Well, no, it was Stacks, I believe, who took everything from him. And then if he was coming back to take on Dark State, why did he attack Javon? Didn't he attack Oba, or at least have a stare down with Oba? Like, there's all these other people he attacked who weren't Dark State. So what's up with that? Because he's actually doing exactly what Dark State did, and that was just attack randomly with no reason.
Well, I'll pause you there because I thought this was a really bland promo, and I think this maybe exposed just, I don't know if this was bad writing or what, but I was expecting a whole lot more from him here. I think we've been pretty high on him in the past. Of course, he's had that cartoony character, so it's weird, but I did not like this. I thought this did not hit at all. I don't think he's bad at cutting promos. I just think of what he was saying was just the most cookie cutter generic shit. But what he's saying doesn't make any sense, because we watched the show and we watched when it happened. Yeah, okay, maybe they beat him up a few times, but they beat up everyone, I'm sure. And the stuff with Stacks was definitely way more of what he would want to come back and avenge. But is this all gonna lead to him being like a leader of these guys? Like, I don't know. What is the point of this? Like, the Dark
I think they're trying some evolution of him, and
I did not like this. I've been liking seeing him acting more serious, the way he looks, the way he presents himself, the music, everything so far. But I thought this was a miss for me.
Okay, I will say, like, going back to your point about the accent, I don't think he should lose that, because I think this character shift is logical. Like, you can believe that this is the same guy as before, but he's lost his family, and now he's more serious and less cartoony because of that. But there's still, like, his history should still be the same. It's not like we're abandoning all of that. He still has an Uncle Paulie somewhere or whatever, and AJ Galante and all them
in a trunk somewhere. Yeah.
So I think there's a way you can have this character eventually go back to being a variation of the original Tony D'Angelo without it feeling too wild. But I think you're right. This was just bland. It wasn't. There were so many plot holes in this, and just, like, you know, it's wrestling writing. It's, they won't remember. Let's just. It felt very. It was almost the equivalent of a You People promo. Do you know what I mean? It was just lazy. And this happens a lot with someone trying to be. Sometimes you have people trying to be stoic or trying to be like cold or whatever, and it just doesn't work and comes across bland. And I thought that's what this was.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, I'm not trying to knock the guy, because we've seen him in the past. We've had our ups and downs with Tony D'Angelo, but I think both of us eventually, whether it was we were beaten into submission or not, we're like, just fucking try the Godfather character on the main roster, because, like, now this guy's been on this show for so long that, like, things have moved away and moved, that we're not just doing these. I don't know. I just, like, what even is this character? Oh, I'm back for justice and revenge. Like, really? Because that's Dark State's gimmick, is the Shield ripoff thing. So, like, I don't know. I didn't care for this, and I'm not necessarily looking forward to Dark State versus anyone, or Tony D versus anyone at this point. So that's what I was like. The only thing that would make sense, which doesn't, if he is revealed that he's with them, but because he says, I'm going to deal with them, and then later in the night, one of the guys is going for the title, and, well, he doesn't stop him. So, like, wouldn't you get involved? So I also hate in wrestling. I really hated this. I'll tell you why. I got two reasons. Number one, Dark State. Number two, I don't want to tell you now, so I'll tell you later. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Tell me later. Your first one wasn't that exciting, but tell me the second one another time. We go from that to NXT retrospective. It is Shiloh Hill and his TikTok video. I say that because they're playing his TikTok video here. And he says that he's in the ladder match tonight. And to get ready for it, he's been studying tape. So, of course, he's got to let us know. Hey, Dave, did you know who his coach was in LFG?
Was it Jeff Hardy?
No.
Oh.
It was The Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
But here he is watching The Undertaker in a ladder match against Jeff Hardy. Wow. the one ladder match. Okay, technically Undertaker's been in like 3, I think, but it is a really good ladder match. It's not a bad ladder match to watch, Shiloh.
No,
so I'll give you that.
match.
But it's just so funny. This promo is like 10 seconds in. He's like, anyways, my coach, the Undertaker. Oh, for fuck's sake. He says these matches can get pretty wild, and I don't know what to expect. So then he starts to run down his opponents. He mentions Ricky. It shows him like dancing on that old lady that one time. Shows all the other people. And while he's talking about all his opponents, he's holding a sword in his bedroom just as he talks, and says that tonight he will.
It was like a hunting knife, wasn't it? I think
it's like a Craven the Hunter kind of thing. Why? But he's going to stab all these people in this.
Going to murder them all.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. This promo was great considering what's the next promo after this with Jasper Troy, but not a whole lot. Like it was a pretty quick video.
Okay, at least he's studying, you know.
Yeah.
He's doing what he should be doing and learning and watching old tapes and working out how to work a ladder match and all that.
He should hopefully he's in Brooks Jensen's tape study class or whatever that is. You see Brooks Jensen with the real tape study in NXT. More people need to follow what Brooks Jensen has been doing with the tapes and watching wrestling in the Performance Center. If you don't know what I'm talking about, his social media, he's always posting. He puts on awesome matches in the gym and stuff like that. So maybe that's something he could do. I'm trying to think of other ladder matches that inspired Shiloh Hill from what he does later tonight, but we shall see. But Jasper Troy video here. He is the speed champion, and there's a new speed tournament, and he says it doesn't matter who wins because I enjoy swatting flies out of the air. And he says it doesn't matter if it's the new luchador, or Charlie with his wrestling. That George Hackenschmidt won't work with me. And Josh Briggs, I already told you I'm the best big man in the WWE. So speed tournament. How excited are you for it?
Oh, I'm pumped.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely pumped.
Did you know there was a speed tournament?
I didn't know there was one tonight. No, but yeah, there often is. As soon as one speed title match is over, you start the new tournament, don't you?
Yeah. So Elio LeFleur is taking on Charlie Dempsey in the speed tournament matchup here. Is Booker T correct? Is Charlie Dempsey a Scouser?
No, he is not.
Okay.
A Scouser is from Liverpool, and
I pick up things. I knew
William Regal's from Blackpool, and I think Charlie Dempsey's from the USA, based on his accent.
Based on his accent, he's American. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he also said Charlie Dempsey worked in New Japan last year.
Okay, that was my next thing. Yeah, he said that. Okay, Booker T is half right here. Okay, he's not right. So I think he meant when Charlie was wrestling in Noah, right? Like that was only like a year or two ago. So I think that's what he meant. However, Charlie Dempsey also did attend the New Japan dojo like years back before signing with WWE. But Booker T definitely thought
mix them up.
Yeah, he definitely mentioned New Japan when he.
And is he half right of being a Scouser?
That I think he's wrong.
Maybe he thinks he's Robbie Brookside's kid and not William Regal.
No, come on.
Because that's the only Scouser I know in WWE at the moment is Robbie Brookside.
Yeah, no, and Zaya Brookside's in TNA. So
yeah.
So no, I don't think that. Yeah, I knew. Okay, I'm not British, but I know enough now that I was like, wait, is he? I don't think he is. So I don't know why Booker said that. He also did it with his like, he's a Scouse. I was like, huh? What are you talking about, Booker? What are you talking about? Charlie Dempsey versus Elio LeFleur, the French luchador. Charlie is doing some pretty innovative stuff here. There's a very nice, like, inverted European clutch there. Very nice, but LeFleur gets out of that. LeFleur hits like the suplex spinning gold dust brainbuster. Is that the final cut kind of move there? That looked pretty good. And then sends Charlie to the outside and hits a moonsault to the outside as well. They get back in the ring as the time is ticking. There's only 3 minutes here. Charlie starts fighting back with a series of strikes as the time goes down, but LeFleur hits him with a haluva kick in the corner and then a springboard pop-up knee. 30 seconds left. Charlie is fighting back with a huge wheelbarrow suplex. And then LeFleur comes back with this head scissors into a leg lariat, kind of like a radio silence.
He sliced the air.
What's radio silence is what he calls it now, Matt Cardona. But what does Zack Ryder call it? Oh, radio.
Yes. What the Rough Rider?
Rough Rider. Yes. So it's basically a Rough Rider is what this move is, with a little twist, literally here. Elio LeFleur beats Charlie in just seconds to spare of the 3-minute speed tournament. So a fun little match here. Charlie got to show some like cool stuff. So did Elio, but I don't like this speed. Like, I like how it's like, hey, look, they're really talented guys, but it's all leading to face Jasper Troy at the end of the tunnel.
It's not been working. And honestly, I know you hated it, but I agree with Donald. If you've got to have one of these, the Speed or the Heritage Cup, I take the Heritage Cup over this, because I actually, in part of this, was thinking of the Heritage Cup. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, it's not 3-minute rounds. It's just 3 minutes. And I think the thing is, it always makes the person who loses look like a bit of a jobber, right? Because you're always losing this in under 3 minutes, but you should be able to go longer than that. Yeah. There was some nice stuff in it. Like Charlie's technical wrestling's always really nice. Some of his transitions into suplexes and all of that was good. And I think the way he was grounding Elio throughout this match was pretty impressive. But I just hate this gimmick. It's not working at all.
I like so far. This is what Elio's like second wrestling.
Match, yeah.
Like, okay, they showed that he's really good. I think last week we were like fairly judging his gear. Like, yeah, it's week 1 and this is week 2. It still looks like he made this mask. Like, it look like I already can tell you that this dude is probably in ring better than a lot of the people on the roster. Okay. I've seen 2 weeks of this guy, and this was 3 minutes. And I can tell you that this guy, this French luchador, is probably better in ring than majority of the men's NXT roster right now. However, his gear,
I want it to work, because I love the idea of this French luchador, but
yeah,
I think beige rarely works. It's who was it? I remember us doing the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah,
I think it's the
beige,
second.
bro.
I think it's the second Mae Young Classic, and there was that wrestler. She's turned up on AEW, I think, against Mercedes. Is it Zeuxis? And
okay,
I think it was Zeuxis, and they're like,
right.
Oh, and she makes her gear, and I remember us both going like, yeah, you can tell it looked terrible. And I'm pretty sure that was beige as well. It just doesn't, especially when you're pasty white with long gingery blonde hair. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, I don't want to go full like stereotypes, but a nice blue, white, and red, like long tights would be
French.
Nice.
Just,
yeah.
All I'm saying is like
a luchador mask with a beret on top would be nice. Like,
I just thought, like, for someone who right away I was like, oh, this guy is super impressive. I'd watch this guy wrestle more than everyone else, but his gear looks like it's second rate. Like, it's indie wrestling.
Stephen in the chat says, I saw Elio wrestle in Glasgow early last year, and he wore the exact same gear. Yeah, I know these people have to usually pay for their gear and stuff like that. And I know the NXT money isn't necessarily particularly good. Ask Jasmine Nix. But you should, like, you're on TV, you have to try and, there are seamstresses there you can pay, right? I believe. So
we will be talking about this guy, like, down the line.
I'm not saying lose the mask or anything like that, because I think the idea of the game is great, but it does look very shindy.
Like, when I was 13 and got really into wrestling, for an art project in school, I made a Rey Mysterio mask. Got an A+, by the way. Nailed it. It looked better than his mask. It wasn't beige. It was baby blue with some yellow and some flare and some colors. Like, legit looked better than this guy's mask. We will be talking about this guy in 2026. He will be stealing the show. Guarantee this guy should, like, I'm not saying, I don't know what he looks like under the mask, but so far, I feel like he should take off the mask, because, like, he's a sick wrestler from what I've seen in 2 matches. I'm already sold on him. The one critique would be, like, the gear needs to step up. You're, like, on TV. You're not wrestling in front of 20 people. So that's the one thing I took away from this. And Charlie Dempsey, he's, like, flopping around, and maybe he needs to go back to New Japan like he was in 2 years ago or whatever Booker T said. Because like every time he wrestles in these kinds of matches, he gets 3 minutes on TV, shows me some awesome stuff, and then months go by and there's no development. There's no nothing with him. So he definitely needs to join whatever Lexis King Nepo baby faction is going, because like that has to be the next direction. Because I would love for this guy to
we see the segment later, don't we? And with Uriah. So it seems that's the way we're going.
We go to Joe Hendry backstage being interviewed. He says, I had a really good year. I had a WrestleMania moment. Yeah, he sure did. He then says he won the TNA title, but he's had a lot of fun singing songs. But over those 7 months, the smiles have also been hiding frustration, because it's about time I get serious and become a champion again. And tonight, that is what I will do. So Joe Hendry calling his shot tonight to win the NXT Championship.
Yeah, I actually like this promo. It needed to happen. We can't have Joe Hendry just be the comedy guy all the time. And I'd have liked this maybe a week or so ago, where he started showing a bit more of an edge and being a bit more serious about it. But I thought this was a decent promo, at least for making him feel like more of a contender going into this.
Yeah, I completely agree. He definitely switched it on a little bit here, of making him not just so jokey, sing-songy. We go to our next match. It is a championship match. Forgot about this. ZaRuca, ZaRuca taking on the Elegance brand. M by Elegance and Heather by Elegance. Is that right? And the Iceman. It's a bad time to be the Ice Man, but he's here. He says the time has come for all the you filthy degenerates. Get on your feet and clap for the Elegance brand. And we see, is this Daria Ray? Is that her name?
I think that's her new name, yeah.
She's ringside. She's the new GM, I think.
Yes.
Of TNA. Something like that. ZaRuca starts off here with Heather by Elegance. There's a standing moonsault from Sofa, a near fall. Elegance start tagging in and out as they beat down on her. And Zarya comes in, and now she's throwing M and Heather around as we go into picture in picture. We see M by Elegance hits this huge knee to Zarya as Booker T is like, this M, we might have something with this M by Elegance. And Vic mentions that she was trained by Seth Rollins. And then Booker T was like, yeah, Seth's a good trainer. You could tell he went to say something and he was like,
I'm pretty sure Vic picks up on it, because then he brings up Reality of Wrestling. I think he's like, not everyone can go to Reality of Wrestling book.
Yeah, so she went to Seth's school, and obviously your school is a whole lot better, obviously, Book. But I loved how Booker was like, yeah, well, fuck Seth Rollins, I'm Booker T, essentially, is what he was saying. Because at first he's like, hey, I like this girl. And then he's like, yeah, she's trained by Seth. And she's like, she could have been better if she went to my school. There is this pretty cool flipping slam from Soul as she fights back to Heather, and then finally tags Zarya, who, like, does she tag herself back into the match? Of course, can they coexist? Zarya is now wrecking house, and she goes to tag back Soul, but then goes to, actually, no, I'm not doing that. Then beats down on both of them. Eventually, though, they get the upper hand. So she finally tags in Soul. They start to argue and bicker, and then they hit tandem spears on the Elegance brand. When you think they're about to capture some gold, Zarya is shoved as Soul sets up for the Soul Snatcher. She's shoved by the Elegance brand, and it's Soul who accidentally hits the Soul Snatcher on Zarya.
Happens.
Don't you just hate when you accidentally hit someone else with the Soul Snatcher?
Yeah.
This sends Soul to the outside, and then they hit the bow and arrow stomp combo, and Ash by Elegance. Sorry, what is it? The Elegance brand retain the TNA Knockout Championships. Of all the wrestling moves, I think the Soul Snatcher is the silliest thing to be like, whoops, shit, sorry, I hit you with that. You have to be like standing there waiting, like, okay, hello, yep, then
I thought they've done this before, the accidental Soul Snatcher. I think this one worked better because the shove was like pretty close to the last second.
Yeah.
And from Soul's point of view, you're upside down and backwards. Right. You see some blonde hair and you're grabbing it. So it's still silly. Like it is still silly, but I thought the time.
Her hair is red though.
Yeah, strawberry blonde. You're blurry, right? There's the lights.
You're literally upside down. I get it.
People keep saying they think I've got frosted tips. It's just lighting, like it could look different.
Look like Sugar Ray.
Sure. Yeah. But I know what you mean. It is always a bit silly, that kind of spot. I thought the match was all right. I quite liked that bow and arrow stomp finish. I thought that looked good. But going very heavy-handed now with the ZaRuca stuff. Zarya not tagging in the whole match, wanting to do it herself. But there was some nice stuff in here as well. I thought Em and Heather look pretty good in there.
I actually don't hate them. Like I've liked what we've seen, especially on NXT appearances. Now I know I've given my 2 pieces about the TNA AMC debut, and unfortunately the Elegance segment was awful with Mr. Elegance. That it may turn people off if that was your first thing of them. But when they wrestle, I know both of these wrestlers before they were part of this, but I think it works. I like the gimmick, the music, the guy, Iceman, they're fine to hate on as heels, but didn't hate this. But I thought that Soul Snatcher was a bit of a reach. Oh shit. It's not like a super kick or a running knee or something. And the person's moved out of the way. It's this is a pretty elaborate, as much as that move is cool, it's kind of silly, right? It's wrestling, so we kind of gotta suspend our disbelief or whatever. But of all wrestling moves, it might be up there as one of the weirdest. The setup to it does not look show me a Hoodville or whatever real fight video Twitter account that shows someone trying to hit this in a real fight. I've seen a cutter in a real fight. I've seen a stunner. I mean,
you could say that about 99% of moves in wrestling.
But that one is, I'd say it might be up there of you have to jump, flip, and then the person's got to stand there. I think the move is cool, but I also think she could come up with some other stuff too. But it was just funny. But this clearly,
I don't know. Whenever she hit it in the Rumble, people were gasping at
people were gasping, but you can see.
I think there's sillier moves.
Absolutely.
But it's also a lot of these, I've got a note on the main event of a move that should look bad, but I thought was executed really well. It's all of those waiting for a move, draped on the top rope or holding the ropes to be stomped. The 619, all of them, it's on the person receiving it to not look stupid. And it's the person delivering it not to showboat too much. I love Swerve Strickland, but I hate how he hits the swerve stomp sometimes because the guy is waiting half sat up for so long when he's doing the pose and all that. It should, if you're having someone wait for the move, you shouldn't be posing. You shouldn't be showboating. You should just hit it, I think. Because I just think of when Swerve beat Joe for the title back when, all I have in my head is Joe sat up like this, waiting to be stomped, and I think there's a lot of moves. I think when we've seen Soul do it, as a springboard, it's worked so well because it's the momentum, the person's throwing her into the ropes, running into it and gets hit. If it's just I'm stood there waiting in the corner, it doesn't necessarily look so good.
There's definitely moves like that look silly. We recently rewatched some John Cena, Alberto Del Rio for Champ is Here podcast we do. And Alberto was that was always, the guy was just be sitting there for forever. Rey Mysterio trips you into the ropes. You'd figure you'd be able to duck that move after knowing that's his one move that he hits. But the Soul Snatcher, as cool as it is one of the more you got to suspend your disbeliefs. If this was two people fighting, 100% that move would never happen. I've seen German suplexes, super kicks, V triggers, chops, but never a flipping upside down cutter. But who knows? Maybe I just gotta look on World Star. We see Ethan Page backstage with the Vanity Project. He says, "Hey, nice job last week taking out Joe Hendry." And they go, "Oh, thank you so much." They do take credit for taking out Joe Hendry. He says, "However, I got some advice for you. Next time, go even further. Break some bones, hurt them, finish the job so that they
finish the job."
Yeah,
Always double tap.
Yeah. So Ethan Page is pretty much like, hey, next time you take someone out, kill them. Yeah. So they can't come back and win the title in the match you have with them. They go, thanks for the advice. Thank you. And then they go, hey, what's going on with you and Miles? And he says, well, he doesn't want to listen to me and he just doesn't have it. You see, NXT isn't that hard to figure out. You just got to do whatever it takes. And they kind of agree. Like, yeah, fuck that guy.
I thought they were setting up for something to happen later in the match with this because, you know, the whole like pick your spots carefully and all that. I don't think that translated into the match at all. I'm not saying I thought Jackson Drake was going to win, although I did think there might be a chance of there being a bit of a just let's go with someone new and upcoming and let's just hotshot them. But I thought we might have it play out a bit more in the ladder match later where Jackson is sleeping on the outside a bit more, letting the other guys work and then come in and jump onto the ladder or whatever. And it didn't really lead to anything.
Like I like Ethan Page kind of being the godfather to these young kids, these Gen Zers who have now signed with NXT. But where we like Miles doesn't show up to interfere. I guess Ethan Page isn't in the match, but yeah. I see what you mean. He's like, hey, next time kill them. And then in the match, they don't do that. But I feel like there'll be some sort of stable. These guys are connected. And I don't know if Miles is involved in that or whatever. But there was no other mention of him on this show. So, but he could have been in the match if he played his cards right, I guess. Earlier today, Jada Parker was at the merch truck outside the Performance Center when she is attacked in front of all the fans by Blake Monroe. She beats the shit out of her here in front of this truck as there's a big pull apart, and it is announced next week on Tuesday, NXT, Blake versus Jada. But I thought Blake really leveled her here. It looked like she was real. This was a beatdown. This was great. Broad daylight in front of the merch truck. Like
they try and do this quite a lot, don't they? Whether it be cameras in the PC or a TikTok video or stuff like this. I thought this was one of the better ones. I thought it looked really good. And as you said, I think what worked is it seemed to really be laid in quite thick. Like it looked like a proper beatdown here. So I like this. I always like we've got such a great women's roster in NXT that we have these multiple stories that don't involve any of the titles, like with Kalani and Lola and Blake and Jada, etc.
I was kind of shocked not to see Blake in the Rumble. Like I thought she would definitely be one of the ones too, but next year we'll see. We go to our next match. Chase U, Uriah Connors and Kale Dixon taking on Stax and Lexis King. We have Uriah who keeps evading everything Stax and Lexis is doing here. Eventually hits this like springboard from the second rope into the ring, spiking tornado DDT. I thought that was pretty cool for a 2 count. Eventually, Lexis King puts a stop to him with a big super kick. He starts to fight back. He's tagging in Kale Dixon here. Both of them are hitting some big enzuigiris. There's a moonsault to the, I think it's Kale who goes for a moonsault in the ring, but Stax gets his feet up. He then tags in Lexis, who hits the drive-by to the back and then hits the coronation and pins Kale Dixon. And after the match, the real story happens. Chase is with Kale, consoling him on the loss. He's real sad. Uriah goes over and looks and sees Stax, Ariana, and Lexis leaving, looks at Kale and Chase and says, fuck that. Leaves the ring and walks out with Lexis and Stax. Is he claiming his birthright, so to speak, as he walks out of Kale and Chase? Interesting.
Yeah, he absolutely should. And then feud with Kale Dixon, I guess. I was pretty impressed with this match. It didn't go too long, but Lexis King, I mentioned this last week, this new character being a little bit more serious. Yeah, he's still a shit disturber, but he seems less of the comedy role. But he's brought that intensity into the wrestling. And normally that drive-by move he does looks awful. And I thought it looked great here. I thought it looked really good setting up for the coronation. And I just think he's this serious edge. It's finally clicking a little bit. I think his wrestling is looking better. I think the character is working better. Stacks, I've like always been pretty impressed with. I think his wrestling's pretty good. And, you know, you mentioned Brooks earlier, but watching things like Unreal, it seems to be Brooks and Stacks are the ones working with a lot of these people like Jelly Roll or whoever, getting them in shape for a wrestling match. So, but yeah, I thought Kale Dixon brought a real intensity to this match as well. And I like the stuff with Uriah Connors. I thought for the time they got, I thought this was a pretty productive tag match. And I'm glad we're just clearly moving away from the Chase U stuff. And if we have these two plus Ariana, Charlie, and Uriah, it's going to do better stuff for Uriah. And hopefully Kale, with a little feud against them, it does good stuff for him as well.
Like anytime we've seen Uriah and Kale, we go, oh, it's these guys. And then they have a 3-minute match and there's some really cool spots in it. Like Kale just looks, I mean, his name is Kale. I mean, that's the first thing we got to get over. But he just looks like he's, you know, he's the guy from Florida Georgia Line, or like, I don't know, from some guy from Smallville, USA. And then he wrestles and he's pretty good. But same with Uriah, where we don't know who these people are other that they've been like a part of this Chase U. So I am interested to see where they go. Specifically, I have liked Uriah a little bit more, but I'm not knocking Kale either. It's just this wasn't going to work of whatever this unit that they were doing. And like Ridge Holland killed Chase U many moons ago, and I think it's time to lay it to rest for good. Like, yeah, I think that gimmick, you didn't do it when it was good, and you sacrificed the Duke Hudson era of Chase U. This sounds ridiculous. You sacrificed the part of this story or characters that actually worked, that actually connected with people, that actually got over, and you sacrificed that for Ridge Holland, and look at where he is now.
You know what you should do? Andre Chase should be the GM.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What else can he do going forward?
Chase you the rest. It's like, hey, you've got experience running
fake schools. Colleges. Yeah. Fake universities. You could run this fake university if you wanted to. Right? Maybe he could change things around here.
Yeah.
Show the students different things that they haven't learned. You know? We need a finisher class. Can we get a finisher class? Like, I don't think I left the French luchador off the hook. This dude's finisher was a head scissors into a Rough Rider. We need a better finisher class. Everyone in NXT, stop doing bad finishers. It's 2026. Let's get better finishers. Specials matter in wrestling, and we can't be doing some of these moves. These things gotta go. So yeah, the birthright thing. We'll see more of that little bit later, but I think we're into something. Like, maybe Lexis King can turn it around. I know we've been pretty critical, but since coming to WWE, he's stepped up, and he's been in that weird position ever since. But maybe he can be more of the manager, and like whatever it was. I think I was just reading somewhere, it was probably Fightful. Someone was reporting about the other Finley from New Japan who might be
I think Dave Finley's leaving, right? Hiromu has just announced he's leaving New Japan as well.
Wow. Holy cow. They can't afford to take any like that anymore. Like, who do they have left? I
mean, they've done nothing with him for the last couple of years.
Yeah, like, that's their own fault. I feel like he could have been something. He could have been something like 3-4 years ago, and they didn't capitalize on his popularity either. I think when I went to wrestle, that's 8 years ago or something. There was so many people with Daryl's, and they never did anything with him. And I don't know if it's too late or we see him in WWE or AEW or something, but yeah, well, maybe we'll see Finley. He could come and join the Birthright. They kind of look similar, but they also, like, the Uriah, I'm assuming, is younger than David Finley, because he kind of looks like David Finley ate Uriah a little bit. Am I wrong in that? Like, they look similar, but
yeah, like Uriah needs to hit a tanning bed, get rid of that mustache, and bulk up a little bit, I think.
Don't like his mustache.
Sorry?
The thing with Uriah is he looks identical to one of my friends. I've said this on a show.
That's right. He doesn't he's good. We've seen stuff he's done.
He doesn't look like a wrestler. Okay. I know.
You know, I need to look at a wrestler and think, yeah, that guy's going to fuck me up.
Yeah.
You know, that guy, I'm not going to take that guy. And Uriah isn't one of those guys.
Right.
And the mustache ain't helping.
Look, his dad's Finley. He knows how to fight, but like, I know what you mean. This is the good direction for this guy, though. Like leaving Andre Chase and his mate Kale. Kale's catching strays. I like Kale in smoothies.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, like, I'm sorry, Kale. We go from that. So he walks out with the group here. So definitely joining these guys with the Nepo babies. Fatal Attraction, Fatal Influence come out. One of these days, I'm not going to mess that up. I literally wrote it down in my notes. That does not help if I actually just say Fatal Attraction. But JC Jane cutting a promo with Fallon and Lainey Reed. She says that I got to do my first Royal Rumble. I participated. I wrestled in my first Rumble, and I even threw that sad-ass Kalani Jordan out of there. And everything was going perfect until ZaRuca snuck up behind me and threw me out. And people are cheering. And she says, let's hear it, you idiots. All of you. You think ZaRuca's the future? No, I am the present and the future. She says that she's going to shut up everyone and kill the hype. She's kind of bashing ZaRuca here when she's interrupted by Zarya, not the person she was looking for. And Zarya comes out here saying, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to come out here and give ZaRuca a title shot because...
What a great friend, eh?
I deserve a title shot, not her. And JC's like, what? Why would I give you a title shot? You haven't done a damn thing. This is when Kendall Gray comes out. She's like, and I want a title shot because I was screwed out of a title shot. She's with Ren here.
I love there's this ongoing thing with Ren Sinclair and Kendall, but other characters as well, where people have to remind Ren, like, hey, Ren, you should have a title shot as well. And she's like, oh, no, I just want Kendall. But there's been a few times over the past few weeks where Ren's really pushing for Kendall for something. And people remind her, hey, you can go for something as well. Oh, okay.
So these two are kind of out there like, oh, we titled and everything. We want a shot. When ZaRuca comes out and before she can say anything to JC, she starts bickering with Zarya. So JC starts to laugh, Fatal Influence laugh. And they're like, oh, you guys need to figure this all out. We're not going to be your couples therapy. When Mr. Stone comes out, he says, as the interim GM, next week I'm going to make a match. It will be ZaRuca versus Ren QCC. And whoever gets the win will get a title shot in 3 weeks on NXT in Georgia. That's right. It's a bit of a all the power, all the gold here. A little two-man power trip action here.
It is, but it isn't. It's actually Robert Stone's being a right shit disturber here because you know there's dissension between Sol and Zarya, and now you're adding a stipulation where whoever gets the pin. So yeah, it's a tag match, but it's more of a fatal four-way.
So yeah, if you had Sol who pins Ren, then Sol would get the title shot. So if Zarya pins someone, she gets a title shot.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what the match is. And the winner gets it in 3 weeks when NXT goes to Georgia.
I will say it was interesting at the beginning of the promo with JC that it felt like the NXT crowd were finally giving her flowers. Like, yes, she's coming out and gloating as a heel, but there was an element from this crowd where like, fuck yeah, you did finally make it to the Rumble and that sort of thing. So it seemed like they were starting to warm on her a bit.
It was real cool seeing her in the Rumble. Like, yeah, she's been the champion. She's been one of the prominent characters on this show. I like the people they use from NXT in the Rumbles. Well, specifically the women with the NXT stars, but like the men's is kind of NXT, but it's all the people they've called up. So it counts, but it kind of didn't count. But yeah, it was cool seeing JC there. So we'll see. I think Zarya should win. I think Zarya should beat JC Jane. And then the story is Sol. Like, isn't that like left field of the story of what's been going on? I don't necessarily see that happening, but I think that would be more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what would you do? Sol wins and then Zarya kills her?
It's difficult because I don't think Sol's going to be in NXT much longer, especially with the highlight they gave her at the Rumble. It felt very similar to what they did with Roxanne last year, where she was the Iron Woman and she was in the chamber, but wasn't she still at Stand and Deliver? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Like did that double duty thing. So if ZaRuca is the champion, like, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. And Soul chasing her for the title and wins at Stand and Deliver. But I don't know if she'll have a long run, because I do think she'll be main roster bound soon. But
yeah, like, do you stretch this all the way till Stand and Deliver? Now, you wouldn't bring Soul into the main roster for a WrestleMania spot anyways at this point, so you might as well finish in NXT, and maybe that does lead to the match being held off until Stand and Deliver. That makes the most sense. I mean, we didn't even get an announcement for Vengeance Day because there is no Vengeance Day. It ain't coming. Valentine still is, fellas. Don't forget, time is ticking. But we'll talk about what they do announce in literally just a second. But like, I would imagine Soul and ZaRuca is your main women's championship, or just a main match at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Like, that has to be the end of ZaRuca in NXT, at least the big spot. And I think that's the match that people will be like, oh, that's the one we're waiting for. So I don't know how we get there. And I don't know who takes the title from JC. Does it need the title? Does JC defend against someone else? Like, does Ren win? Does Kendall win and therefore ZaRuca lose? And that's
you could do Kendall. You could do Kendall and JC again at Stand and Deliver, and then just have the blow-off match between ZaRuca and Soul not be for anything. So Soul can win that and then move up. And hopefully, I'd like to see JC and Fallon move up as well.
Yeah, like as a tag team.
Yeah. I think that's how you debut them. Yeah, I think Laney can stay down and get a fresh new character or whatever.
We go from that quickly before commercial, or coming back from. Kalani Jordan is asked about what happened earlier with Lola Vice. She says, "Oh yeah, how's she gonna knock anyone out now that I broke her hand?" Good tactic, heel. Good heel logic here. I mean, because like, what did she do? She back fisted me, and wait, that sounds wrong. She hit me with the back fist and knocked me out. So now I broke her hand, because how is she going to do that to me? So clearly this feud is also continuing. We have Ren QCC with a bit of a moment where they say, one of us is definitely winning. And Charlie is sitting there and he's like, oh yeah, good for you. Good for you. He's sad. And
I'm like, sad about my speed match.
And there was time. The speed tournament. There was time. I had time now. So he's sad, and Ren and Kendall are like, one of us is going to be champion. We're going to beat ZaRuca, and then we're going to beat JC Jane. This is great. And Charlie's all sad. And that's when Lexis King and the Nepo babies walk by with Uriah. And they say, hey, Charlie, have you thought about what we said? And then he kind of gives this little look. And then does he get up or kind of fades? It cuts away, right?
Yeah, it's not as obvious as with Uriah, but what's he do? Like, Ren and Kendall don't need him. He's just he's just this like tag on now, so he should absolutely join them.
So it's Stacks. Sorry, so it's Lexis King, Stacks, Uriah Connors, and Charlie Dempsey. One of them does not belong in the Nepo baby squad, but
Stacks sits through
yeah it's like his father-in-law. Okay, but the group, they keep saying birthright, but it's not his birthright, it's his wedding right. It's his wedded right. It's not his birthright. He's not.
It's no.
That's the one thing I'm like, wait a second, Stacks, what are you hanging around these guys? You're not a Nepo baby. Maybe he gets kicked out because they realize, wait a second, who's your dad? No, that doesn't count. I think Charlie joining is a great idea. I mean, the team of Uriah and Dempsey instantly is a way better team of anything those two guys were doing in the last little while. So good stuff. Regal and Finley's kid. Who would have thought? Cool stuff. We get an announcement. There might not be a Vengeance Day, but on March 31st, at the no longer Hulu Arena, the something else theater at MSG Theater, not Madison Square Garden, but the smaller venue attached. NXT Roadblock on March 31st. So not only do we have that TV special in 3 weeks in Georgia, so that'll take us to just at the end of February, but we will also have the Roadblock special, and that will be, when is that? A Saturday or a Sunday? Let's see here. March 31st. Oh, that's a Tuesday. So wait, that is a Tuesday special?
Yeah, they just sent, it's not a PLE. It's just a special. I think both these are just special NXTs.
Oh, I didn't look at that until I saw it. So I guess there won't be a pay-per-view or a PLE for NXT, right? That's what we said.
I assume Stand and Deliver is the next big one. They'll just do a couple of these bigger Tuesday shows.
Like we said, that makes sense because look at the stat, like NXT, a lot of the stars have been taken. So how are you supposed to do more of these things? So a few months have passed, and I mean, this is still a big move to try to do this theater, but it's not a big venue. Like these are still smaller things.
Yeah.
But TV specials is definitely the way to go, more so than PLEs, at least right now. But I know Stand and Deliver, if it's not been officially announced, it is penciled in for WrestleMania the Saturday before WrestleMania. Of course, they have to squeeze it in there on the Saturday. So that will still happen. But yeah, Roadblock coming soon in a few weeks from MSG. Next week, however, we get Jada Parker versus Blake Monroe, ZaRuca versus Ren QCC, and so much more on Tuesday. But we go to our main event, the vacant NXT Championship on the line in a 7-man ladder match. Ricky Saints, Dion Lennox, Jackson Drake, Sean Legacy, Shiloh Hill, and Keanu Carver. Oh, and Joe Hendry. 7 guys. Did I get them all there?
Yes.
Think so. We have 7 people, 1 title, many different ladders. We have Joe Hendry in control here, hitting everyone with ladders and sending them out of the way. Eventually, Joe is beating on Jackson Drake when everyone else is on the outside, and he awesome bombs Jackson Drake out of the ring onto everyone. That was pretty cool. Keanu Carver here starts slamming everyone around. He drops a ladder and then body slams someone on it, and then he body slams another guy. It was like a whole ring around the rosy of just power slamming people onto a ladder until finally he gets body dropped onto a ladder, which was pretty nice. Hope he's okay. We go through picture in picture and we see Sean Legacy and Jackson Drake. They've had a bit of a little rivalry we saw on some NXT TV, but also in Evolve. So they're going at it with some crazy like counters and some pretty cool wrestling moves. I would definitely like to see these two run it back in another singles match on NXT, but pretty cool to see them get some spotlight here. We go from that and we see, Carver, who breaks a ladder. He takes the ladder and
rips it in half.
He rips the ladder in half, which will come into play. We have, there's like a Legacy hitting a sliced bread on Dion Lennox here, running like off the ladder as he kind of drop kicks us into someone else. And then this is when Shiloh Hill grabs the 2 broken ladders, like the pieces of the ladders, and uses them as stilts and walks in the ring to walk over with the stilts to go onto the ladder as he's fighting the other guys who are climbing the ladder.
This is what Undertaker did against Jeff Hardy on Raw for the title.
That's where he learned it. Yes, of course. You know, pretty innovative spot. I feel like in WWE, we have not seen someone do this. I could be wrong, but like the guy looked like he knew what he was doing on stilts here. This Carney, he looked pretty good on these stilts. I will say this was the spot of the match. Like I am not high on Shiloh Hill at all. And I'm not saying this spot makes me a giant fan, but this spot was awesome. This was pretty cool of this guy using these stilts to get over it. He's so weird. He's so wacky. He gets over there, but unfortunately, he's not able to grab the belt because as he's on the stilts, Keanu comes underneath him and sets him on his shoulders, allowing Dion to jump off the top rope with a doomsday device onto Shiloh, knocking him off the stilts. Unfortunately, the Performance Center crowd were pretty upset. Dion hits a snowplow on Jackson Drake, and then he tries to climb. Eventually, there's Joe Hendry comes back with a standing ovation onto Dion, onto a ladder. This is where Jackson Drake is up top. And then he goes to climb, but realizes everyone else is on the outside. So instead of climbing and winning the match, he decides to do a spiral tap off the top into everyone onto the outside. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Picture-in-picture hits from that. Shiloh is trying to climb again. He jumps off the steps onto a ladder into Carver's face and then takes out his tooth, because that means he's serious here, as the crowd is chanting toothless. I think they didn't want to chant toothless aggression, but just toothless, I think. This is where, after Carver is taken out, everyone starts to bury him in ladders here. Like, so he's covered in ladders, so he can't get up and fight. We've seen lots of people do this to Brock with like the commentator desk and everything. We go back in the ring, and okay, who's doing this with the helicopter? Is this Shiloh Hill?
Shiloh as well.
Yeah. So I said I really like the spot with the stilts. Really hated this spot. You know, when Terry Funk did it, it still looked a little wonky then, but that dude was nailing people in the fucking head with this ladder. This might be the saddest ladder helicopter spot I've seen possibly ever in these matches. This was if a soul snatcher on your friend that you meant for someone else looked hokey, then I don't know what this looked, because those guys were just walking into the ring and they're like, he's not even spinning. How am I supposed to make this look good? You could see the gears and everyone's
It wasn't
head,
like Funk or even Bubba Ray in those TLC matches, right?
I groaned at this. It looked pretty brutal, to be honest. But the match goes on. Legacy sets up a ladder attached to a ladder, so some building here, some world building, and then hits a springboard 450 onto Jackson Drake onto the ladder, which was really cool. This is where Dion Lennox almost grabs the title when Joe Hendry stops him. When Keanu Carver wakes up from the dead, throws all the ladders, roaring. He gets up. He's beating everyone. He pounces Drake into the front row, into a bunch of jobber cops. And then he sends Shiloh Hill. I think he was meant to go through a barrier, but he didn't push him enough, so he just kind of falls over. He then runs around and does a pounce to Sean Legacy through the paper wall on the perch. And then he goes back into the ring when he's met by Ricky Saints. As Ricky and him are fighting, Ricky sends Carver crashing through a ladder to the outside. This was pretty nasty here. Pretty crazy spot for the big guy.
He didn't take it straight on his back as well. Like, I was really worried because his leg went through one of the rungs. Like, it could have been nasty, but it looked good.
So we see Carver taking out Ricky, climbing up top. He stops. He does the absolute pose. And as he does, Joe Hendry appears. They start to fight. They're wiggling each other. They're leaning back one way. They're leaning back another, until Joe sends Ricky crashing through a ladder that's still attached to the other ladder, leaving Joe all alone. And Joe Hendry grabs the NXT Championship to claim what is his. Say his name: NXT Champion Joe Hendry. Wow. Standing ovation in the Performance Center.
Okay, if you thought that that Shiloh spinning ladder spot was weak, this is the worst title shot to the head I think I've ever seen at the end of this match. They're doing, they both pretty much get the title off the thing, right? They're doing tug of war, and then Joe just kind of like pushes the title in Ricky's face, where it's essentially Ricky jumping through the ladder at the end. I thought it was a disappointing end to, you know, this match, which I actually thought was a lot of fun. I thought a lot of people stepped up. I'd have preferred this field being for like a North American championship, which I think should be your stepping stone title. I don't think you should have your Shiloh Hills or like Keanu Carver's in this title match right now. But I thought there was some well-crafted spots in it. Like, I thought they did make Keanu look like a beast, you know, ripping the ladders up and giving him, the Brock emerging from the rubble spot. The stilt spot worked with Shiloh Hill because it was kind of wacky, as is he. And then you're kind of continuing this little story we got going on of Jackson Drake and Sean Legacy, where if everything works out, these two should be tied together like forever. You know, like they've got their Evolve rivalry, they've had the NXT stuff, they're now having their moments in this match. And there was a moment in this I actually really liked, which goes back to what we were saying earlier, was the Jackson Drake hitting a swanton to the back of Sean Legacy. But it was one of those spots where for it to work, Sean Legacy has to be bent over with his back exposed, waiting for it. But Drake hit this so quickly, like he kicked him in the gut, which kind of, wins you, forcing you to go down, leaps over onto the apron and springboards right into the swanton. I thought it looked great. And I thought that made this move work so much, just to kind of go back to our conversation earlier. I thought there was a lot of fun stuff in this. This isn't the right field for your NXT Championship. I can't say I'm overly excited about Joe Hendry and a title run, but really he's the only other option. We've just had the Ricky reign, and now we've got hopefully a bit more of a serious Joe Hendry have a bit of a run before he moves up. And I guess if you are doing Stand and Deliver, you do need a name to try and sell these tickets. So Joe Hendry, like whether it's Joe versus Ricky Saints is the Stand and Deliver main event or what, I don't know, but it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I'd say I enjoyed the match though. I thought it was pretty fun.
I thought it was fun. There was definitely some cool spots in it, but there was also a lot of stuff that showed me that these guys have never been in a ladder match before. In fact, it showed me that some of these guys haven't been in 10 matches on TV before, because they haven't. I thought there was some really cool stuff. Jackson Drake, I mean, he's really young. He looks kind of small compared to a lot of other wrestlers, but I'd say he's definitely someone to watch. I could see him evolving into something, pardon the pun, evolved champion, but I could see him definitely becoming something. I do like Sean Legacy. I thought a lot of their stuff in this match was the highlights. The Shiloh Hill stuff. I see Steven in the chat saying Kofi Kingston doing the stilt spots. Of course, Kofi Kingston with the very creative stuff in the Rumble, but also the Money in the Bank matches with the stilts and stuff. But yeah, like there was some stuff in this I liked. Keanu Carver took a huge bump. Like that guy went flying off that through a thing. So I hope he's okay. He got a ladder in the face earlier, and then he was covered in ladders. I thought he was someone. I didn't believe anyone other than Ricky and Joe were going to win this match. From the beginning, it started.
There was a moment I was thinking, are they going to do this with Keanu Carver? Are they just going to try and put a rocket on this guy? Especially when they had him buried, because quite often that is the spot, right? That you think someone's going to win, you've forgotten they're in it, and then they jump out of the rubble and they win the whole thing. I was a little concerned that was going to happen. But yeah, I guess this made sense with Hendry.
Like, there was stuff I liked, stuff I didn't. I'm not too excited about Joe Hendry. We did mention, like, doing these shows on the road, you need characters that people know, and I don't think people know who Shiloh Hill and Keanu Carver and Dion Lennox necessarily are, whereas Joe Hendry's a bit more of a name. We don't have our Javons or Tricks or Obas. We have Ricky. So is that the big story for NXT? And I can't say that's necessarily exciting, really. Like, I'm happy for Joe Hendry getting some gold and finally being used. And I think he should have won over anyone else in this match, maybe other than Ricky. Because, like, I didn't see out of this match, I didn't see like, oh, there you go. This is the, like, go with this person, because we got all these mixed match of characters. Like the Dion stuff with Dark State is so bland. You got Shiloh's a bit of a jokey character, really, and literally hasn't wrestled a handful, literally not even a handful of matches on TV. A few of these guys haven't, and it did show. Like, I think the plus is people look at the stilt thing and be like, oh wow, that was really cool and innovative, and maybe not so much the awful helicopter spin attempt. So, like, this wasn't bad, but still looking at the state of this men's division, and it's like, what can we do to fix this?
I think what the problem is as well is there's no one I actually care about seeing becoming champion in NXT. There's plenty on the women's side. Like, I'd love to see Soul have a run. I'd love to see Kalani have a run. I'd love to see Lola have a run. There's a lot. On the men's side, I'm thinking, okay, is it Ricky versus Joe? Well, both have been champ now, so I don't really care. Do you put Tony D'Angelo in the mix? He's someone who hasn't won it, but based on tonight's, I wouldn't find that very interesting. Like, I could potentially see them doing a triple threat. Like, everything felt like it was building for Javon Evans to have his crowning moment at Stand and Deliver. And he's doing bigger things now. So, and you don't have a lot of time to heat up anyone. So I almost feel Joe Hendry winning at Stand and Deliver would have been a bigger moment. But again, we don't know what the long-term plans are. How long are these people going to be in NXT for?
Yeah, this showed like they took away what we had stories of, like, okay, Javon's the big focus, is he's going to be our big champion and big story. And then that's not the case. So that's cool. But who we have waiting in the wings isn't necessarily exciting. Like, they just weren't ready to be Raiden. I mean, that's the best because you can throw people into the pool and see who can swim. But this episode was just a mixed bag for me. Like, it started off with that triple threat with the women, and I was like, okay, pretty decent match. There was some other stuff on this show. Tony D just completely whiffed for me. I thought that was going to go in a completely different direction, and I thought they definitely stumbled with that. So maybe we can rebound. But there's no characters in this show. The one guy I like has wrestled twice, and he's a French luchador, and he looks like he's like wrestling in rags. So like, the show is all over the place. I was still entertained. Like, the ladder match was crazy, so I guess it was fun, and like, oh, who knows what's going to happen. But it was definitely a mixed bag, and didn't necessarily leave me very interested in what's going forward. Like, they're announcing the next, the roadblock, and they haven't announced a Vengeance Day, but Stand and Deliver, like, I don't know, like, by then, will Elio LeFleur be a bigger deal? Will Lexis King's Nepo baby stable be cooking? This week, I thought maybe I'd be going into this like, all right, they know we got some next stars, we really got to try to push. And I don't think it hit that or scratched that itch for me of like what I was maybe expecting out of this show. Of like, I don't know. We looked at that graphic of the 7 men, and it was like, oof, fuck. There's like one guy who should win that match, and he didn't win, but Joe won. I don't know. I'm feeling mixed ways about this episode.
In isolation, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought this was so much better than last week's, which if I remember right, I think we were really down on last week's episode. In isolation, I thought this was pretty good. I enjoyed the North American Championship match. I enjoyed Chase U versus Stax and Lexis King, and quite like where that is going. And I thought the Knockouts tag match was fun, and I thought this ladder match was fun. It is just the looking ahead and where are we going? How long are we treading water with this ZaRuca thing? Where is the men's picture going? When I'm thinking of that, it's just, the long-term story. I'm like, ugh. But I thought in isolation, this was definitely an improvement this week.
Well, we shall see. We have a roadblock. We got to Stand and Deliver. We have next week with some title implications, a title match in 3 weeks. The show goes on in NXT. So let us know, do you agree, disagree with some of the things we said if you watched NXT this week? We do have a feedback thread to read. We have a Facebook page you can like that can lead you to the Poison Rana Facebook group. We share things like memes and wrestling news and all sorts of funny stuff, including feedback threads, which we will read right here. I see Jeremy. I'm not sure if Jeremy Samples has written in before. Have I recognized this?
Is this a first time, long time? I don't recognize it.
It's been a long time, but first time, long time. Jeremy, thank you for writing in. I'm going to read what he said. He says, got to attend NXT live tonight. Such a fun show. First time seeing a ladder match in such a small environment. It was really cool to get to watch all the competitors at all times. Interesting to see how the officials help the guys make their spots. Happy for Joe Hendry. Crowd was really into Keanu, and the fall at the end was so loud. Very high on ZaRuca. They were playing the highlight video from the Rumble of the NXT competitors before the match. Zarya and Sol were both doing Obafemi impressions in the dark. So much personality. Really fun night. Thanks to both of my upNXT friends for all that you do. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Always appreciate a first time, long time, and always appreciate whenever we are talking about a show and some like live experience.
Love live reviews.
Yeah, because Jeremy, you said seeing a ladder in such a small environment, that wasn't something I brought up, but I wanted to. They had all these refs making sure that those ladders don't hit people because it's such a small building. It's such a small little warehouse, right? So we've seen, I mean, remember Ring of Honor, MSG, that ladder match where someone got hit. Like, I noticed this one, everyone was like making sure that none of these ladders like hit people. So yeah, that is something I thought that was like, please don't no one get hurt. Especially people who've never been in these matches. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, please don't hurt yourself. Appreciate that, Jeremy, and I'm happy to hear you had a fun time.
We have some feedback from Megan as well, who says ladder match over-delivered. I'm not sold on Shiloh, but that stilt spot was mad creative. Carver looked like an animal, and with how heel heavy the show has been, NXT building itself around Joe Hendry is a good idea. Pretty rare for a TV main event to get over 20 minutes, and everyone got a chance to stand out.
Thank you, Megan, as always, for writing in there. And thank all of you for listening to us blabber on about NXT for quite a while here. We will be back next week to talk about NXT as we always do here at Post Wrestling. You want to hear more of us? Sunday we'll be live at 2 with a Poison Rana live as we talk about Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, and everything else in the world of wrestling. Some contracts, Hiromu, AJ Styles, who knows what we'll talk about, but we'll talk about it all this Sunday. Tons of other podcasts, patreon.com/PoisonRana. You can hear our best match ever, AJ Styles 2016 review, and so much more. Tons of movie reviews and retro wrestling. PoisonRana.ca for links of everything else that we do. Appreciate the postmarks worldwide. Peace and love this February. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye and be safe.
Ahoy!